Okay, guys, I'm recording this meeting, and if more people come in, I have a couple more people coming in. I have maybe a wrestler coming in. Um, Another good friend of mine, Garth, is coming in. So I'm going to introduce everybody, and then I want you to all supply your contact information, what you got going on, where we're going, what we're doing, if you're doing something with me. But while I have you here, I want to introduce Rod and Cash Duncan in Cape Town. I'm going to be their manager, okay, for their music. And he has written some amazing music. And some of the songs like LEELY'S song, which is dedicated to autism. Rod, can you give me a little bit of that story?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, guys. Basically, with LEELY'S song, what's happened is very much when my granddaughter was diagnosed with autism, we had no idea what autism was. It was just a word and didn't know what to do, how to approach it, as you all know. It's the first time and then basically got to understand through her what it was to sort of grow with this. And I didn't know how to express what I felt. I didn't know how to express what was going on inside of me. And being a guy, like guys know, we just try and shut it down. And I couldn't shut it down because I had to talk about this, but I also didn't know how to talk about it. And the best way I do a lot of things, be it in relationships or being anything, is put it in song. And with LEELY'S song, I take you through my journey in what it was or how I experienced and what I experienced with autism or living with an autistic granddaughter. And the great story about that is after years of singing it to her and playing it to her, one day, basically, she just told me to shut up because she said, "Yes, I can hear you." Yeah. So that was the most joyous time because the song is "Lily Can Hear Me." Because as she was a non-verbal for a while, and then, as you know, with non-verbal, you sort of just communicate with eyes and everything. And then one day she just decided to answer, and it was just, most magical thing. However, with LEELY'S song, and Jean was the first one that sort of played it on air. And the greatest thing that happened to us was Jean sent me an email once to say it was requested more than the Beatles song in a week. And that was just magic for me to hear that, not because of that, but because that this message could reach so many people. And that was the magic part for me.
Yeah, so me and Rod and Cash, we all teamed up, and we're looking, and then you guys can help us. All of you are here can help us in one way or another. We're trying to get them to get a tour going, and we're trying to get their music out there. Now, this song should be the autism national song. It's a beautiful song. I could send you links to it so you guys want to hear it. But
Absolutely.
His whole catalog is amazing. We had them here. They flew here to our studios here in Robbinsville, New Jersey, and their music, I'm telling you, I don't know where you'd ever work for 2 hours or something, but your music is just amazing. And
Thank you.
He's incomparable. He's a great artist, and this song is great for people that not only have autistic kids, but also can give the good message that we're here for you. You know, we're here because this song is about you, but we love you, and we want you to understand that we're here to help you. That's the message I want to convey out there to everybody out there. It's all my friends, musicians like Randy O'Neill, and who else? I think Jimmy Ashenbetter is another musician. But a lot of us are, we sing, we know people, we do different things. Guys, I'm asking you this as a special thing. Let's get them played on your stations or friends' stations. I have a guy named Scott coming in who has a radio station in California, and hopefully he'll come in and we can talk to him about that. But I already got people lined up ready to play your music and listen to it. I just talked to a friend, Rob Scribner, in Washington State. He does an indies artist show on Sundays. He said, if it's okay with you, you send the music to me, I'll get played there too. So this is the way we expose you, and this is the way we help each other. Does everybody agree with this?
Yes. Absolutely.
So I
I
need
want to
your
thank
help.
you for that.
I need your help. Wade, I also need your help because if they want to go play live, right? Wade has a platform called Smoke and Bacon where you can play live right on it.
Anytime. Yeah. Just
See,
let
Wade
me
will tell you.
know. We'll send out the promotions, do your do the ads, all that. We'll get everybody in we can, and we don't have any restrictions, so you don't have to censor yourself, or if you mess up, shit, start over. It ain't gonna hurt nobody's feelings.
That would be a great platform. Yeah, that would be a great platform to come in on. Wade, is there a way we can connect with you, or we'll connect through Gene with you?
You can just email me at wade@smokeandbacon.com and let me know when you want to come on, and we'll get you set up.
No worries, we'll do that. We'll chat with Gene, and then we'll. Thanks for that. Thanks for the invite. It's awesome.
And anybody
Really
who wants to
appreciate
put
that.
anything on Smoke and Bacon Radio, Gene, feel free to let them.
Right. And Roger, you got some hookups in radio. I know that, don't you?
Well, yeah, you're one of them. But I also do voiceovers and things of that sort. I used to be an FM radio many moons ago, and I was the highlighter of Wolf 108 FM in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I decided just recently to bring everything and anything I've ever done out there under one roof. Finally have a website, but before I created a website, I went international and professional with my audio voiceover biz. I produce commercial demos. I do anything and everything with audio, clean it all up, make it sound great at professional levels. Yeah. And for all around the world. So I'm set up with professional everything, professional equipment. You just can't see it. It's off camera right now. And coming up soon, July 4th, I'm going to be having my a new podcast come out. It was my audio voiceover business that brought me into the podcasts and doing shows, truther shows. And I was a host with Aaron McCollum years ago. I don't know if you folks heard of him, but he was a whistleblower on Project Camelot. And I worked with him. He actually called me up one day, and because I made an intro and outro for him for the Truth Evolution. No, the Truth Collective and Universal Truth Evolution. And he calls me up one day. He says, "Hey, would you mind co-hosting with me?" And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Well," he says, "you got computer smarts. You're going to school for computer sciences." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "And you've also got the radio background." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, it's a fit. You're a shoe-in." And I said, "Okay, cool. Thank you." Well, he ended up having some issues and he left, and everyone had expected me to pick up the ball and run with it. And I'm like, no, this was his baby, and it just didn't feel right. So I pulled back, took a hiatus for a little bit, and then Dave Corso, the late Dave Corso, he also came out on Project Camelot, and he asked me, he says, "Would you mind co-hosting with me, Project Information Generation 2?" And then we renamed it to Wolf Spirit Radio, doing live shows out there worldwide. So I started my own podcast when I lived in England for 3.5 years. And that was called Maxium Radio, talking about things that people really should be focusing on right now and during their awakening process. But I guess like Project Camelot and other outfits out there, we were a little too early. We were ahead of our time. Now everything is starting to happen. So I have a new live stream that's going to be coming out. My first recorded show, we're trying to make happen for July 4th, but it's going to be a get to know you kind of thing. I have a couple of co-hosts. They're both from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, both lovely lasses. They are just awesome. And their names are Diane Saray and Divine Brown. Yes, Divine Brown. Divine Brown is a professional vocalist. She's also had like a seal of approval by Elton John himself and a few other professional folks. Yeah. And it's just interesting how I'm hooking up with all these people that have different backgrounds in music and everything. I'm a natural musician as well. So, it's just anything and everything with audio I knew when I was a little kid I'd be doing, and here I am doing it. So yeah, I dropped my website into the chat here. So if you guys want to check it out and hear a few demos, whatever, you'll get, real quickly, you'll understand what I do and whatnot. But you'll be able to get to the podcast, the live stream, directly from my website, Solid Silver Sounds. So, and that's about it in a nutshell. And I will shut the F up and let everybody else speak, I guess.
Thank you, Roger. Yeah, everybody, listen, everybody's got something to bring to this. It's not just me. It's not all about Hamilton Radio. It's not all about what John and I do, John Thielen and I do, because John is my advertising guy. And he tells me when I'm wrong or when I'm right, because he's done it for so long. He's been in AM radio and FM radio. I mean, he's done a lot of different things. So you guys have that similar, background, and it's always needed. But without certain things, man, I don't know, I wouldn't get anything done. But I want to go to another friend here, which is Renee. Renee, you got something going to happen soon, right? Can you share with us what's going on with you?
First of all, Gene, I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you for inviting me.
Make me cry.
Yeah,
Gene, make me cry.
I cannot.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I went to visit my best friend at her grave this afternoon, and I'm here. I know she's with me. I'm here to let all of you know. I know Gene knows my story, but I don't know the rest of you, so I'm gonna share because it's a big story, and I know we all have one. I lost my voice to an illness in 2013, and doctors didn't know if I'd ever be able to speak again. I was not spiritual at the time, so I had no idea what was going on. I was a manager in corporate America, running multi-million-dollar teams very successfully. But the one I wasn't running or taking care of was the one in front of you tonight. I had no idea what was going to happen to me. I actually wanted to go home to God because the pain I experienced was greater than I could bear. My vocal cords were riddled with sores, like fire in your throat 24/7. Like COVID, I was not allowed to be with the public. If anybody was to come visit me, they had to wear a mask. The only one who did was the one I went to visit in her grave this afternoon. 5 years later, I wrote a book called Finding Your Voice. It came out last year, February 3rd, 2020. It went to #1 4 times so far. Finding your voice, unlock your chains, and unleash your greatness. You see, the chains I was bound up in were my very own. And the greatness I am releasing and unleashing with all of you and sharing with each of you tonight is also my own. I coach women and help them in finding their voice because I have and continue to find mine every single day. My goal is to be on a national or big radio or TV. I'd love to have my own voice. I keep my own voice, my own show. I keep thinking, find your voice with Renee, weekdays at 10 on NBC4, home of The Voice. I see this because it's not about me. It really is not about me. Like my friend was for me, I am a vessel to give, to serve, and to share my voice with those who feel they have lost theirs. Mine was not taken from me, but it was taken for me to realize the pain that so many others suffer in their life. So I want to be that vessel, and I know I am that leader and that vessel to serve others in a powerful way. On one side of my computer, I'm not going to show her because I always promise I protect her. It's my best friend. And on the other is a verse, and I don't have to read it because I know it so well. From Celine Dion, I would love to thank that beautiful woman in person someday. It's because you loved me. You were my strength when I was weak. You were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my eyes when I couldn't see. You saw the best there was in me, lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith because you believed. I'm everything I am because you loved me. It was because of her love and faith and belief in me that I'm here before each and every one of you today. And so I want to continue to get my book out there on big platforms. I want to get my voice out there on big platforms. I'm on Clubhouse. I run a group on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I am putting my voice out there every single day, as much and as often as I can. I need help getting it on a big stage so the right people hear this voice and know that it truly is not about me. There is a mess and a message within the mess that I endured, that so many are going through. I really gear towards women because I am a woman. And I know as a woman how much I do not use my voice. The metaphoric loss of my voice in life manifested physically in my health. For not believing in myself, not standing up for myself, not using my voice in corporate America or in my own life, being a people pleaser, wanting so much and so desperately to take care of others that I let myself go by the wayside and my voice was taken away from me. So I was unable to use it, never knowing if it would be returned to me in any kind of way. So I am so grateful to be here and share this voice with each of you, and grateful to you, Jean, to be able to stand before you and all of these beautiful faces before me, to serve in any way I can. So please reach out, let me know what I can do for you to serve you, and maybe there's something we can do to serve each other and to help this voice get out there in a more powerful way than ever before. This is Renee, and as we say in Clubhouse, I'm done speaking for now.
And you are
Thanks
so,
so
I mean,
much.
you are a powerful lady, let me tell you. And I know
Cheers.
all the women that are here are powerful. You understand, you are all powerful and you all have a story to tell. And just like Renee, she bounced back, and look at her now. Look at her shining like a star, like the way she should be. You know, Laura, that's you too. That's you, Randy. That's you, Takesha. That's you, Maureen. You know, that's you, Cash. Everybody here has that power.
I have not just the book, and I'd love you each to get it. It's a very, you know what? It's a very thin and powerful book, something I didn't share, which I really should, or not should, I would like to. At the end of each chapter, I have a takeaway section because like I said, I'm a vessel. I didn't even want my book to be about me, so much so that I made it about the reader. After each chapter, I have a takeaway section, and I literally left 3 to 4 lined pages because I pose questions. I speak to you, the reader, in the book because I want this to be about you and your journey, and I want to hold your hand through it. And through the power of my words, I am able to use my voice in this manner. I also run a women's coaching, and I will take men in there too, because some men have asked me, because they have their voice that they're trying to get out there. Maybe this machismo thing that they're afraid to use their voice. So I do welcome men too, but it is a group coaching course, and I really welcome you to find people to join me in this journey. I have some women that I've coached through. It ends in about 2 more weeks, and I'd love to replace and come with me in your journey.
Renee, you have an awesome story, and I would like to first ask you what happened with your vocal cords, if you don't mind sharing.
I absolutely thank you for asking. You know, I really didn't know, and what happened is, which I didn't share this either, doctors weren't able to help me. It was really the power of God and my best friend and him putting her in my life. I had 19 vials of blood drawn because they kept trying to peel back the layers of the onion. How can we help her? What can we do? And they literally could do nothing. I'm surprised they didn't put me in an IV in a hospital and watch me wither. They didn't even do that. I was at home in the 4 walls watching outside my window because I was watching the world go by. To answer your question, Roger, I believe, like I said, my vocal cords, I believe they took hold of me because I wasn't speaking. I cared so much, as I said, about others. I literally lost my voice physically. They were riddled with sores. And as I explained, only in the first chapter, because I didn't want this book to be, you know, a poor me kind of thing. It's literally maybe in a page or 2, I talk about that, and that's it. There's a chapter about meeting Jack Canfield. I had him on my vision board thinking, how am I going to ever meet this guy? I met him in San Diego at an author weekend conference, and he was a speaker, and I didn't even know he was going to be there. And there he was. And I got a picture with him, and it was amazing. I literally feel that because I didn't speak up and I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. My best friend used to say, Renee, slow, and she used some not so pretty language. She would say, slow the bleep down. Like, no, I have to do this. I have to do that. I got it. And I look forward. I do write this in the book too. I look forward to my days off, not to breathe and take a breath, but to see how much more I could do to serve the people I was working for and my teams at work. I never, ever stopped to take care of the one looking me back in the mirror. And I believe they atrophied and they got so sick and so ill, and they took hold of me in such a way that I had one sore that literally, it was a Christmas season, so I didn't know what was going on, but I was a sore in my throat. And that one sore the next morning, it atrophied overnight, and it not atrophied, it just gave birth overnight. And it was so many that when I went back to the urgent care, my best friend drove me back that following day. First day, she said, yes, there is a sore in your throat. She confirmed it. Next day, she didn't even tell me. I said, how many sores are there now? She goes, I'm not going to tell you, because she already knew me. She knew I'd freak out. She said, I'm going to tell you to my best friend, you need to get her to the ER right now, like immediately. And that was the beginning of this journey and losing my voice. I said, am I contagious? She goes, oh, you're highly contagious. You can't be with the public. That voice, that little voice that I asked that question with disappeared to nothing for close to 4 months with no contact with the public and no voice and no way to know, am I ever going to get better? I literally, when people say, oh, I wanted to die, I'm telling you, I wanted to. I wanted God to take me home. I could not bear the pain that was there. And when you have no hope of getting better, and doctors don't say, start on this regimen, call me in 10 days, you should be seeing me. There was like literally nothing. I literally stayed at home in 4 walls. It's not like I could watch your soaps, read a good book. You guys, I can't even express it. This pain was like, you can't even do anything. You don't want to do anything. You know what I did want to do when I woke up? I wanted to go back to bed to get out of it. The thing is, I'd wake up crying at 2 a.m., stamping my feet like a 2-year-old to swallow my own saliva. I would spit it out. It was like an unbearable thing. I don't want to stay in that pain. I want to let you know that I got through it, because staying in that pain puts you back in that pain. But to share with you that I know pain, when I say I know what somebody's going through, they say, no, you don't know. I'm like, I do know. Whether it's abuse, whether it's a woman being abused or somebody in abuse, I had abused my own self without knowing it. And I stayed in that without knowing what I had done to myself. When you love on others so much that you stop loving yourself, you know, the pains we feel in our bodies are signs. I didn't listen to anything. This was the greatest pain I'd ever known. And one I could relate to in so many ways, to what others go through, a man, a woman, a child. So whatever it is, whoever you feel that I can serve, that I may not have thought of yet, I just know I would love to get on a great platform.
Well, you know what? Listen, shifting the paradigm, the new show that I'm putting out is about stories exactly like these. People who are coming to awakening and going through that painful process of the dark night of the soul. You know, I've been there. I've gone through it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel your pain. My cousin is a vocalist, and she ended up having polyps on her throat. She thought her career was over. So I know exactly what you're going through or went through talking about. And this show is for people who are coming out and who have a voice, that want to use it, that are looking for the courage to use that voice. All right. And to stand up. We're here to assist people in standing up and taking control of their lives and being that center of, you know, being centered in their soul and standing up for themselves with their inner authority. That's what shifting the paradigm is all about. And we are shifting into a new paradigm. Are we going to be able to see how it turns out? No, but you know what? We are on the right track. It's going to take a while. There's a lot of things that are in upheaval right now. There's a lot of things being unveiled, the apocalypse, the unveiling that people are seeing that they've never seen before, that have been going on underneath our noses for thousands of years. And people are like, no, the world's ending. No, the world's not ending. You're just being shown what has been going on. And now we're having to go through the process, and everyone's at a different stage. But stories like yours, Renee, are exactly what we need on the show. And I would love to have you as a guest, and I can keep in touch with you. The folks, I'm on Facebook, Roger Silver, SYLVER. Please connect with me. If you have a story, we'd love to have you on, please. And thank you.
I would love to, and I'm so grateful. And if there's any women on here or some men that would love to join me on my next 6-week course, I invite you to join me, because I know it's in sharing our voice that we heal our souls. I want to thank you for having me here tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. wait till you hear the other stories. I think you're going to be excited. You're not alone.
Thank you.
Some of these other ladies have had a really, really, really rough time. And one of them is Laura Love. I mean, I love Laura. She's awesome. If you met Laura before, you know exactly kind of what she has been going through. But you talk about empowering women.
Yeah.
There she is right there, just like you. Go ahead, Laura.
Hello, everybody. Can you all hear me?
Hey, good eye.
Yeah, okay. Well, for those who don't know me, I'm a mother. I have 6 children, 2 adults that are 27 and 23, a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old. I'm a business owner. I'm a unicorn in my field because I'm a landscape designer and I provide maintenance. And I've had a very long passion for politics before I got into what I'm doing now. And I had even tried a little bit of campaigning for the presidency back when everybody was hating on Obama. Anyway, when I got into landscape design, I started with a company that was struggling. And I was very successful with what I was doing. So I tried to help the company that I got involved with to help. I'm not going to name the name, but this company happened to have the general manager. The company was my husband. And he was involved in some shenanigans that weren't exactly up to snuff. And to make the long story short, while I was trying to help the company, he was stealing money from me. He would borrow money from me to help the company. And I was like, okay, being a trusting wife, yeah, let's go help them. And they managed to swindle out of me so much money that it shocked me in the end that my husband and the business owner, they both knew they were going to file for bankruptcy this past October. And they, right up to the last minute, didn't tell me. And they left me in the hole for maybe some $95,000
Wow.
out of my own personal straight up cash. Because I don't do, like credit cards or anything like that. This is just money that I had that I would, provide to try to get the company out of the ground. And while I was trying to save this company, my husband was sabotaging me with the owner so that I wouldn't take over, because he had this machismo thing where he couldn't stand that I might actually be able to, take over the company that he was running into the ground. So he sabotaged that too. So when the stress of realizing that this was happening to me started, really getting to me, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this just happened to me. That's a lot of damn money. And at the same time, my father became ill. So he was, in his deathbed. So this stress was getting to me. Let's just put it that way. Long story short, I got into a situation with my husband that led to a blow up that I ended up getting arrested for. It involved guns. This is an ongoing case. So I won't say much, but I was arrested. I was charged with a felony. Thank God the felony is no longer standing, but it's down to a misdemeanor. And I'm still fighting that charge because immediately after my arrest, oh my God, I was given an order of protection because my husband lied, about fearing for his life and all this BS. And so my children were removed from me. I was removed from my property. So I lost everything. In an instant, I lost my family, my home, my property, my office. Imagine you not being able to, go to your house, talk to your kids, like as if a hurricane or something just ripped your life apart. That's what it felt like for me. I was released on bond. I paid my own bail. My husband was not happy. He was thinking that, this was his lottery ticket. He was like, she's in jail. I'm going to get away with swindling her out of so much money. I don't have to be accountable for this. And on top of that, I get to keep her house. I don't have to fight for the kids because she's going to go in the slammer. So he was not expecting that I was resourceful enough to have, the funds to bail myself out and, just be out. in the meantime that the process was taking place. So he went and he got an additional order of protection against me. And so I basically ended up homeless overnight in the blink of an eye with nothing, no family, no friends. I got on social media. I contacted Gene. I was like, Gene, you're not gonna believe the shitstorm I just got myself into. But it's been so crazy that during this process of getting arrested, I had never been in trouble with the law. I never felt like a criminal. I mean, I maintained my innocence, but the shock of being arrested, I was kind of like a middle school kid when they're going to high school for the first time and they're scared shitless of what might happen. And I really just took in the whole experience. While when I was getting arrested, I was very polite. When I went to prison or jail or whatever they call it, the intake process, the whole strip search thing was very humbling, let's just say. It's so demoralizing because they strip search you. And I think that the female officer that was checking me out, she was enjoying that a little too much, in my opinion. Oh my God. And you know, I've been sleeping in my truck. I had been for the last 3 months until recently that I was able to secure a little bit of place here. But in the meantime, I've learned so much stuff about the arrest process, the protection orders, what goes into it, how many people are losing their rights because of stupid nonsense. And because I do have a passion for politics and changing laws that are unfair, that, you know, they're just kind of like passively there. Nobody thinks, you know, hey, let's get rid of this crap. I've been documenting the experience and everything that I think is wrong with the system. I'm thankful for the experience, even though it's a really horrible one to go through. I've been documenting everything because really the details is worthy of a movie. It's really crazy, but I'm hoping that I can make changes. And I do on the side social media marketing. So some of the things that some of the ladies covered, like Renee and also Rod, all of these things can be achieved also on the side through social media marketing, because it's not just radio. You can actually isolate or target the audiences that you want to reach, like the folks with the autism. If you get a hold of features, which I do have access to, principals, teachers, children, TikToks, and Instagrammers, if they get a good jingle going and they put a challenge out there that sounds good, that's enough to, you know, get the buzz going. And with Renee, finding your voice, my God, it spoke to me, because I was like, through the process of all the shit that I've been going through, I still feel like I'm screaming in a box, because I'm going through the process, but I'm trapped in like a legal labyrinth, literally, where everybody is just pushing me around between, you know, the children's division, the court, the protection order. You know, they just kind of throw
Ping
something
pong
at
back
you,
and forth, right? Yeah.
and they're not accountable. The judge says, okay, you got to do this. The judge washes his hands. He doesn't care what happens after. You're just another number. DCF with the children does the same thing. They just get an order. Your kids are just another number, and they wait for the judge to make up his mind. And then there's the order of protection that when they issue you an order of protection, I never knew this, they give you 10 minutes, 10, to grab whatever you think of your whole life existence out of your house that you may need. And a cop stands over you, deciding for you what you can and cannot pick. And I was like, how do I choose in 10 minutes what the hell I'm going to need from my home? I didn't have enough time. So I was screwed, but I've been pushing through, and even through, you know, the homelessness and the challenges that were thrown at me, which are so many. I mean, I have people that really wanted to see me in the gutter, but, you know, I am a Christian, I'm a child of God, and I sincerely believe that, you know, you may be going through hell, but, you know, God's got your back, and he certainly has had mine. And all the clients that I had before, they're rooting for me, and there's a lot of blessings on the way. And even though I'm still, you know, technically homeless and struggling, it's you know, a struggle that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I can't wait for the end result, because I know it's coming. It's just that right now I have to get through this criminal case. I have to win my children back. I have to, get rid of the bad apples and then share the story and get out there and use the social media marketing, the connections, and also the politics to change, these unfair laws that are so crippling to families today. And I heard, I'm not sure if it was John or someone else to talk about, the whole thing with the COVID and the things that are going on in the background in society that are literally destroying our families, our businesses. And it's just business as usual. If we don't do something about it, who will? So we have to take these experiences that we have, find our voice, like Renee says,
Love
get it
that.
out
Yep.
there,
Yep.
get it out there, get people involved. And take a because all it takes is one brave person to get out there and say, you know what, I have a backbone and I'm gonna help you get your backbone. And before you know it, everybody's strong. And we can do it. We just gotta, one day at a time and get out there and get it done. But you haven't heard the last of me. There's gonna be more coming, and
Nor
hopefully
do we want to.
more victorious stuff.
We don't expect you to be the last, just like Renee with her. The voice is just going to be, it's going to carry you through. It's just going to get you to what you got to get to, and again, what a powerful story. Every time I hear it, I just want to, oh my God, is there any way I could help this lady? Because she wants to just live a normal life. I mean, I have a normal life. I get up in the morning, I got a house. I get in the car, I do what I got to do, right? Imagine not having any of that and losing your kids and losing your house and losing this. It's just, oh.
But you've known me since, the whole political campaign and
Right.
all the other challenges and things that we've been trying to change and make better. And so there is all these details that, that all the other folks don't know yet. But if all this can get put into, like a TLC movie or something, it would really be like, wow, if we didn't document this, we would think this is completely manufactured.
Exactly. And Rod, there's a song in there too. I can guarantee you that there's a song in her story.
Well, it's amazing. There's a song we wrote on Liberation Day, and basically Liberation Day is about empowering women, and it's about abuse. And if you want to Google it, or if Gene can play, it's called Liberation Day, and that's basically about saying, don't turn away, don't hide your eyes, stand up for what you trust and stand up for what you believe in. And Cash is the inspiration that because she went through something similar Laura been talking about in a previous the sort of space. And when we wrote Liberation Day, it's basically about finding that inner voice and saying enough's enough. This is where we come to. This is where we make the stand. This is where we draw the line in the sand. And this is who I am. Warts and all. And you take me for who I am, or don't take me at all. But I'm not glamorous. I'm the way I am. And basically, once she sort of brought that side to, I guess, me, it was then that I got to understand a lot about, I guess, the other side, if you want to say, like what she went through. It wasn't just all the glamour, the lipstick and all that. It was, there are a lot of the emotional pain that you can't see, but that you've got to be, the amazing thing with both you, Renee and Laura, and I'm sure with Renee and Maureen, is that there's a lot of pain that doesn't come to the fore because, like everyone, you want to protect not just yourself, but those that you love and those that are around you. You want to protect them, so you don't want to show that. So you still walk around being this brave person, all of that, yet inside you're crying so much. And this is something she taught me. She taught me how to observe that. She taught me how to understand that. And she taught me how to talk about these things. And Liberation Day brings that to the fore in where the cry is, don't turn away, just don't turn away. Let's stand together. It's not sexism. It's all about, humanity. It's all about being together and fight for what's right, so to speak, So, Laura, I hear you and man, your story is so inspirational. Same with Renee, and I'm sure Randy and Maureen will have, those inspirational stories too. And sitting here, Gene, you talk about inspiration. I garnish inspiration from people I meet, from listening to stories, lyrics flow, and I'm sure, Laura, there is a song in it, and we'll work on it. But I really like to connect with you, Laura, because we were talking about, sort of the platforms. And I'm sure Gene, as the manager, will work through that and work through Wayne as well as Roger, and make this something we can all, benefit from with Renee and all of this. And if we can benefit from each other, and then work together. And then I guess, each one of us can, utilize the strengths we have to become something that we can elevate each other, to a place we're all wanting to be. Because just like Renee said, she wanted her a voice, or she got a voice, but she wanted to put herself in a platform where she can speak and educate and help and teach. The same with my music. I'll be lying to say that obviously that's not what I'm searching. I'm wanting to connect with the Wades and the Rogers and the Johns and Jeans to say, look, this is my music, this is what I write, this is what I'm about, this is where my passions come from, and say, but I need help. I need these people to help me, because I'm a musician, I write music, I'm not a marketing person, I don't know, all these other things. I want to sit 20 minutes of my time writing a song, not thinking, how am I going to, market this? This is where we're at, so hence why I need to connect with people like yourselves.
And it's all about trust too. Remember, Rod, we talked
Absolutely,
about
absolutely.
trust, and who you actually know, and who you've been, the experience that the person's had is the trust factor, that people realize this person is the person that I want to do whatever. Just like I do with John. John Thielon is my guy that does advertising. He's my guy that I talked about everything with. And he's marvelous at what he does. But I want to hear a little bit from Takesha before we hear from anybody else, because she's new. And I just talked to her. I got off the phone. I was crying with her too, because she's got some wonderful things that she does. Can you share that with us, Takesha?
Thank you, Gene. I love you so much. I just want to tell you, like, you're my brother. You're my brother. You're my brother.
I love you, my dear.
I love
Don't
you
make
so
the big
much.
man cry, okay? These are very, very watery if you hit the right nerve.
Oh.
Yes, he's an old football player, but he's a big teddy bear.
He's a big teddy bear. Oh, it's so wonderful. Thank you, y'all. I love you all so much. Thanks for having me here, Gene.
It's a pleasure.
I do want to share a little bit of my story, because I was thinking in the back of my mind, what exactly, because I told Gene that I have so many hats, have a lot of hats that I wear. And this hat that I'm about to put on is, I want to connect to the right story. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead, because I wasn't going to share this, but I'm gonna go ahead. I feel safe in here. So me and my children, I have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. I'm a single mom. And I live here in Virginia. And how I got here. So I would say about 4 to 5 months, maybe I would say about 6 months ago or so, I met a guy that we reconnected. And he promised me marriage. And at first I was doubtful. Very, I think he's moving too fast. So I did think on it for a little bit. Then fast forward, he begged me to bring my children, uproot me from Minnesota, where I was, and told me to come to Virginia. He'll pay for everything. So I am a business owner. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I'm an author. I write books. So I was going to be doing everything corporate world. I quit my job, and he vowed to take care of me and the kids. He was going to be their stepfather. So we uprooted everything. He told me, just don't bring anything And I said, no, I gotta bring something. And I said, I need to try to get a job. No, I got you. All right, we get here. Me and the kids, we were excited to move in this big house. Oh my God, we were excited. I would say less than 2 months, he comes into the room and he says, hey, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. He said, Takesha, God told me that I wasn't your husband and that I am preparing you for your husband. So my mind went all types of thoughts running. And I said, oh my God, I'm here alone in the state by myself with my children. No one here. I know anyone. But he said, well, God told me to take care of you financially. I said, okay, until you get on your feet. So I'm happy at this point. I would say that next week he started packing slowly. Now he vowed to my daughter that he would be there for her. Yet he moved right in front of her face, which caused her to have suicidal thoughts. He was slowly moving out. He was slowly turning things off. We were basically left to fend for ourselves. So we almost went homeless. Thank God up above that I prayed and I'm in an apartment now. But that's just a little softened up. I don't want to take up too much of your all's time, but he was a narcissistic sociopath. I have so much to say about this, but this is what catapulted my purpose even further, because God had showed me a path that I was supposed to be helping women that went through partner violence and narcissistic abuse. No one educate, no one talks about this abuse. This type of abuse pierces your soul. These type of individuals literally would take your soul. They are murderers in the spirit. They will have you drop everything. They will lie on you in the court systems. They will make up things. They become friends with lawyers, judges, just to ensure that they destroy you, where you are left with nothing. And individuals don't realize that narcissistic abuse is domestic violence. No one talks about this.
Amen.
No one talk about this. So my plan is to be on every single platform. I've even created a narcissistic abuse awareness TV that I want to launch to tell the world. I want my own TV network because it's so many women and men, because I am a men's empowerment coach. I do coach men because they have a voice too. And it's to the point, it's so big where I want to be able to provide a resource list. I'm talking about future plans to create this list and provide a safe haven for individuals who go through this and they're able to get care. That's why they call me the soul care provider, because I take care of the soul. I'm the physician in the soul. Okay. So I bring people and I nurture them and I take care of them spiritually so it'll manifest physically. So if I provide this safe haven, this safe space, and I partner with people who want to come in and say, hey, Takesha, I want to connect with you, give them my name. I'll provide this. Okay, they're dealing with homelessness, just like me, almost homeless. Okay, I didn't even have people to move me. I didn't even have a job. I barely had a job. So I'll have people on this resource list or people who is partnering with me and say, hey, Keisha, I got a truck. I got some people out here. I'll come and move it for this amount. You know, secure grants. So it's so much I want to do for individuals who go through this type of abuse. I'm a singer and a songwriter, so I do write about these things so that people can hear. It can pierce the soul with hearing as well. But it's a lot to my story. But this one I definitely wanted to share tonight because I wanted y'all to know you are not alone. And it took a while for me to exercise my voice because I felt the shame. I felt guilt. I felt like I let my children down. I was just a nobody. This guy took value. He took my value. That's what I thought, but he did not. What he did was he catapulted me in my purpose. What the devil meant for bad, God turned into good. I'm here today because of God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. He will forever be my CEO. He will be forever my father. And I'm going to be here for those. I am a servant. I'm his servant. And I will do this until the day I die. Thank you, Gene.
My pleasure. And again, the stories, we're noticing a lot of the stories are similar, like what Laura went through, what you went through. And, you know, Renee went through more of a painful thing that's more body, but it still takes a toll on the body. And Randy, with addictions, this is a lot of stuff you hear sometimes, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, even Laura's story, like I worked with gamblers where they devastated their family in one baseball game, you know. There goes your house, you know, and the wife's always like, what did I miss? You know, always, you know, and the narcissism and how charming they can be and, you know, the stories that, you know, go on, you know, it's just devastating. And what it does, I just wrote a song called Daddy's Pride. My daddy never taught me pride. And the damage parents can do, even significant others, when they don't, you know, teach you pride and how to be confident in yourself. You know, when you have to learn that on your own and you feel like you don't even have the tools because no one's there supporting you, the people that are supposed to be supporting you. So, you know, and my story started with addiction and alcoholic parents. So, yeah, a lot of similarities.
But you're an incredible singer-songwriter too. And maybe you can help Rod and Cash and me, you know, from Australia, because you go up and down. What, you're in New Jersey, right? North Jersey?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey right now.
A lot of things are still closed, little venues here and there open.
Little things are opening up. You see pockets of it here and there. The venues are kind of being flooded by like A-listers, like the
Yeah, I know.
touring acts right now. And the thing of it is, if you see the lineups that are coming out, because so people are so desperate to play, you have these like triple bills of like unbelievable artists that you've never thought you'd see on the same stage, you know. So it's a very unique time in music. I have one show in July down in Princeton, and I'm starting to book stuff, one in South Carolina in early November, like trickle in. So, well, since I'm talking, I'll go back to where a little bit about myself. Abusive alcoholic family. I was abused in every way possible. And I just blew apart when I was 16. I just couldn't take it anymore. And the state came in, I was removed. And my grandmother took me in. But I was basically on my own since I was 16. And I used music to really help me through a lot and deepen my understanding through counseling. And I've kind of been combining the two ever since. And, you know, writing songs about, yeah, I don't always make the best decisions. But about the idea that it's never too late to make good on a bad decision, you know, and turn yourself around and find your voice and find your pride, find your wings to fly is one of my big like anthem songs. I have these wings to fly, like yes, you know. So I've been at this for a while, and recently, you know, with COVID, I really had to go to a total digital marketing platform. You know, like Laura was saying, you know, targeting audiences through Facebook ads and things like that. I've been learning and digging into all of that. You know, having a fan club and, you know, trying to build an online fan base is what I've been trying to do. And my next step is I did release an album that actually has been doing pretty well. It's starting to get a little bit of airplay in the Americana markets in the States, because I'm happy. It actually was in Australia and New Zealand for a while, which was super cool. But what I'm going to be doing is trying to get back to house concerts. I do songwriting for people that have events coming up and that. But I'm also going to be releasing personal coaching and also like an anxiety rewiring the anxious brain series. It's going to be a 5-session series on it's going to be looking at the brain itself and what triggers anxiety, because emotions do not exist outside the body. They're inside. You created that. And what I look at is the brain mechanism behind it. And once you understand that, taking steps in the next parts of the series to relook at that. The power, why is meditation so powerful? I'll teach you that, like in the amygdala. Power of positive thinking and helping, you're creating emotions with every thought you think. If it's a negative thought, that's where you're going, folks. You know, if it's a positive thought, you know, that's where it's going. You know, so doing a whole series on that. And it's not, you know, it's going to be a lot of, you know, positive energy, but it's going to be a really serious look at your role in your own life and how to be the best you that you can by understanding what's going on. It is a biological process. You know, anxiety is fight, flight, or freeze. You're going to do something. Your body wants to do something. And if you don't want to feel that way, then get out of fight, fright, and freeze and stop engaging the amygdala. So it's going to be a whole series. I just put it together. I did it for the kids that I work with in the school. I did one series, and I kind of launched from there. So I'm actually going to be launching that next week, probably on Facebook.
This is awesome, Randy. Thank you. You and everybody else, musician-wise, who are sharing your stories. A friend of mine who assisted me in building my website, we both actually got into the guts and created it, but she has her own platform set up called Digital Republic, digital.republic, but it's a platform that is for free speech and things of that sort. It's a cross between, Twitter and Facebook. But she brought up to me one day, and it just popped into my head while you were speaking, Randy. And she brought up to me that, well, she's down in the middle, literally the middle of the U.S. And she wants to put together for, I think it's next summer. She wants to, she asked me for my assistance to get the word out there. So here we go. She wants to put together like a really big concert of independent artists from all over the world. And
there you go, Rod.
And yep, and she wants to have it put together as, she goes, I want this to be a freaking Woodstock. And I'm like, well, yeah. And she's like, can you help me with that? And I'm like, I can do my best. And all of a sudden, here we go. Everything's like all clicking together because it's supposed to. We are shifting the paradigm, all of us together. So you guys can reach me, and there's a lot going on. I've got a lot on my plate. I'm working outside the house. I just got done.
All of us
Yeah.
do, believe me.
Yeah. So I just all sorts on my plate, but I will reach out to you one-on-one. I'll do what I can to assist anyone and everybody. Yeah. This is what it's about right here, guys.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Randy, thanks for being there. I mean, for what you said. But before I bring Garth in, I want to bring my good friend Maureen. Maureen, you got a lot going on. Tell us what's going on with you. Got music. I mean, not music. Another book coming out. You got a show that we're going to be doing soon. Go ahead.
Gina, well, welcome. Greetings from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, about 30 minutes south of Nashville. So I fully appreciate the music scene that I have in front of me here on this screen. And what Randy said is true. People are triple booked just to get on a stage. So I think, Roger, it's going to happen sooner than you think. My name is Maureen Sullivan T-Bald. I'm a registered nurse entering my 4th decade as a nurse. So yeah.
Thank you for your service, Maureen.
My background is emergency and trauma. So as you know, this last year has been traumatic by any standard. I do writing. I'm about to publish a 4th book. And as Jean and I spoke, it all materialized during the pandemic, which is so ironic. After a lifetime of assisting the medical community to hand out prescriptions and the standard American diet and treat everybody by the book, this past year allowed me to take time and step back. And it honestly came out of the fact that I am cheap as all, you know what, and I refused to pay prices that I was seeing in the grocery store. So I started modifying a diet and inadvertently became plant-based and vegan. And then I started reading about it. And then I started doing like late night in movies on Netflix and Amazon and watching the sun come up because it was so fascinating. And I was writing notes because I think you've actually described my past year as the awakening, the eye-opening, the life-changing, the darkness came to light. I never challenge anybody on their diet, but I'm amazed the farther I deep dive into this, the dietary elements and the chronic disease tie-in. And in the meantime, without ever, and I promised myself, because I'm only a year into this, August 1st, I am not an expert, except that I have 4 decades of healthcare behind me. But it's been fascinating to have the medical community that has been my family for my lifetime now say we really don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear all the health stuff that you can just cure this and cure that with a diet choice and not a pill. And so primary care doctors and endocrinologists that have been part of my life for various reasons have just kind of shunned the situation, and it has inadvertently and quite happily brought in an entire new community that is now family and friends. I am a 2-time cancer survivor, and nobody ever said during my cancer
wonderful
that there was a diet component to it. And I mean that sincerely. Nobody ever said how a dietary change, a pH in your blood change. You're not in your head. You know exactly where I'm going with this. It's been astonishing to me, and I feel I feel like I'm coming out of the darkness, and it's heartbreaking and life affirming at the same time, because I've spent so many years being the conduit that handed the prescription the doctor wrote to the unknowing patient. My background, I'm dual certified nationally as an emergency department nurse and a diabetic educator. And the diabetic educator issue has become a very sore spot because nobody wants to fix diabetes with a diet. And so
there's no money in it. There's no money in it.
That's it.
I know exactly. And I've actually behind closed doors challenged the entire endocrinology department that is huge in this section of the state. And I was basically told pretty much the same thing, that if we cure them, which it would happen quite easily, we couldn't charge them. And that's
there you go. You created a whole department just from having a disease that we can cure, but nobody wants to cure because they make money from it.
Right. But within the year, and it was never the intention to sit down and write a book, but the more research I did, the notes I took, the book kind of wrote itself. So that's going to be released later this month. And then I just wanted the opportunity to get the word out, not so much to the person sitting next to me, but through the airwaves. And Gene has graciously agreed to allow me to do that on his platform. So we're also initial show that I have on Jane's platform, we also are with ukhealthradio.com. And so I've got access to multiple platforms for people we can interview and send you out into the world. At last count, we've been picked up in 26 different countries. So I'm very excited to say all those.
Awesome. That's awesome. Nobody's done that. It's an awesome thing.
You own that as much as anybody. You own it. So it's been a fascinating new section of life here. So as I start a new birthday and another decade, it's a good way to be at this point. And like I said, I did it for my own health, and I didn't have a chronic situation that I was trying to correct. But miraculously, all the blood work that was just kind of borderline and just taking that age-related hit there more so than anything else, just went all back to normal. And at some point, my primary care doctor asked what medicine I was getting from somewhere else, and I referred to the produce aisle at Walmart. So there it is.
What you're gonna like about Maureen is you can see how honest she is and truthful, and she's telling you basically from her experiences. But the show that her and I are going to do is going to be on medical, but we're going to dive into each and every medicine, the insides, the outsides, and the side effects, and people to call in and tell us what has happened with your family since you've been on this. I was on 15 different drugs years ago. I was bleeding internally, ready to die. The internist took me off all them drugs, or I wouldn't be here today. So what she's telling you is absolutely true, but at the same time, this is a warning sign or a warning call. Anybody that is eating, whether it's meat or the stuff that's in the meat. What's in the meat, guys? Nobody knows. The meat packers don't know. The meat industry won't tell you because they make money from it. Dairy industry, same way.
Soylent Green, man, it's people. I'm kidding.
Roger, we're not far from that. That's the scary part. That's why people like Maureen, when she comes out and tells you this, you have to believe her from the credibility that she has. You have to understand, when I talked to Dr. LeBeau years ago, Dr. LeBeau is a great, great person, and she knew that sugar was a cause of cancer. But what do? They don't tell you to stop eating sugar. They tell you a sugar substitute, which has more problems than the sugar did. So the cancer goes to the sugar. Acidic body, cancer. Sugar, cancer. Pancreas problem, cancer. So what we're relating to is everything is based on your diet. So it's not genes. Some of it's genes, some of it's this, but there's a lot of things that we can control. Like me and my wife here, we're both on a all vegan diet, and we don't eat any meat. We don't eat any dairy. We don't eat any cheese. And we try to cut back, and we lost a lot of weight. We brought our blood pressures down. I mean, she's already great at 50, 50 some years old. She's wonderful. I'm 60. Now I'm hoping to make another 60 years. Okay. Through the plant-based diet, you're going to get all the nutrients you need, and you got to get your supplements, because most of the diseases, and Maureen will tell you, is because of the nutrient deficiencies we have. Not because we're not eating the right foods. We're not, because we're not in there.
And all this stemmed from the fact that I refused to buy the expensive meat during the pandemic. So there you have it.
It's a good thing though. See, God works in mysterious ways, right? God shows us.
Well, I'll close out with this, Gina, I promise. But I alluded to this on our last meeting, and it was kind of an aha moment. But we sit every day and we watch TV and we see all the latest medicines, and then across the bottom of the screen and in print that you can hardly read, it has all the side effects, including death.
Up to and including death.
They interviewed a doctor. They said, who in their right mind would take a medicine that has a side effect of death? And he goes, and we prescribe it every day. I mean, what does that say about the health, the medical community as a whole, that we actively prescribe medicine whose side effect could be death? I mean, it's
Maureen, did you happen to adopt a special diet during COVID that would help you combat the supposed symptoms and everything that we were?
That's a good question.
I I went so much into, and part of it was now you're cooking at home much more, you know, and I think that factored out a lot of the restaurant stuff. But I'll tell you, the air fryer and the crock pot, the slow cooker and everything, it just got, it started, I think, out of convenience. But now I can, like, our grocery bill, it's just my husband and I, is about 60% less per week. And it's just the two of us. And I'm just like 60% less. And it's not an intentional, I'm buying this. I mean, the first time I did that, I wasn't even paying attention to what I was, you know, buying cost wise. And she's like, yeah, it's only, you know, $40. And I'm like, I bought a whole week's worth of groceries for $40. But I think a lot of it subconsciously for me was during the pandemic when because of my background, and I kept hearing those with diabetes and obesity and hypertension are at a higher risk because of COVID. They're at a higher, and it just was so repetitive. And I'm just like, you know what, let's just clean up. Neither of us had any of those comorbid situations, but it's better, you know, to clean up while we can, basically. So it's like I said, it's a whole different community. And I never started it to save the planet or perhaps save an animal, but the more you delve into it, I'm just,
Yeah,
you know.
that's a good point. That's a real good point. But I want to bring on a good friend of mine, Garth Raymond. Garth and I have been friends for a while, and he's done some extraordinary stuff. He does local karaoke, and he's working with a wrestling firm. Garth, welcome to the call. Thanks for coming.
Hi, how you doing? I have been listening, and I find some of these stories absolutely amazing. I guess I have to say I've been really blessed. I don't have a similar story to tell you. What I do have is the ability and the capability, I guess, to help other people through the things that I do. I've enjoyed music since I was a little kid. My father was an AM disc jockey for years and years. One of those rare ones that got fired for refusing to play rock and roll. That's how it was. And we grew up without so much television, but more a stack of Broadway musicals on the record player, one after the other on the weekend. But my love of music translated eventually into a karaoke business that I've been in for 20 years. But I've had a few of my people go and sing for The Voice and stuff like that. One made it to the second round, most didn't. But I've tried coaching. You saw when I used to do the kids karaoke at the Friendlies, we would try and coach them, teach them a little bit about breathing and vowel pronunciation and things like that, things that I learned to make them better singers. And one of the things that sprouted out of this, and you know, I go right down the street from you in Robbinsville to Rose Hill, and we started a program called Singing for the Silvers.
Love that.
Where we take our singers and we will go out and we go to the nursing homes, assisted livings and such. And we do a show, you know, an afternoon show for them. And it's funny because a lot of these people don't get visitors, don't have family, have been forgotten. And we go in there and we sing the oldies. It's the stuff you can't sing at the bar because they would boo you out of the place.
Right.
But we can go back there and do the old stuff, the Roger Miller and the Hank Williams, the old stuff that they remember from their time. And just, you know, give them an afternoon of joy and happiness. And
I heard that even Alzheimer's will remember the songs they grew up with. Like the senior citizens and the people in nursing homes have that it's great for the memory and their mood and everything, bringing songs in that they grew up with.
We do that. We also get them moving a little bit. We'll throw in a YMCA once in a while just to get them to physically be active. And the great assistants that work there at these facilities will do their best to get them involved. It's actually spawned my karaoke partner to challenge me, because while I'm doing Singing for the Silvers, he's now doing oldies, goldies for the oldies, or something like that, oldies for the goldies. So the program is now spreading, and we're doing more facilities. and it's just a nice thing to do. It's my way of giving back, and that's what I do. I got involved with the wrestling organization, SWF. I've been a wrestling fan since I was probably 8 years old.
Me too.
And yeah, I love it. And I went to a show, and I know one of the fellows because we had worked together at the company I worked at, and totally unrelated to wrestling. But he had that look. So I actually asked him one day, "You look like a wrestler." He says, "Well, that's because I am." That's Ace Lane. You spoke to him, I heard.
He's a real nice guy, yeah.
Excellent fellow, trained by the Ultimate Warrior. And he said, "Well, why don't you come to the show?" And I'm like, "Oh man, it's 40 miles away. I get to." He says, "I'll buy you a ticket. Come see the show." Okay, I went to the show, and the sound quality just scared me to death. It was that they had one speaker, they were plugging the mics and the laptop, and everything else was all running off a powered speaker. And I'm like, you can't hear anything, or it's so loud it could kill you. So he looked at me. He knows I've been doing the DJ karaoke thing for 20 years. He says, "Can you help?" I said, "Good God, yes." So the next show, I brought all my equipment. Had them. The only thing I didn't have was like all the entrance music and stuff like that. And I still don't. But I have the equipment. I have the fortunate ability to do the technical stuff, to connect them to my system and be able to modulate the sound of the music versus the ring announcer, so that you can actually hear and have a decent show production. And I'm very happy to contribute. It's not a gig where I'm making a ton of money. Sometimes it barely covers my gas, because you're dealing right now, because of COVID, with very small crowds. But a bunch of guys who are very dedicated to their craft, who want to become better at what they do. And I'm happy to help them along. I'd like to think at age 61 that my legacy now is to be a people pusher. I'm a recruiter in my full-time job after 31 years as a manager in the convenience store industry. I've spent the last 5 years being a recruiter. And even on my LinkedIn page that they encourage us to do, it says, 3 decades of C-store experience, offering opportunity to the next wave of career-minded people. And that's what I try and do. I've been blessed, to the point where I don't have a lot of unhappiness to talk about, and I don't knock anybody who does, because there's a lot of hurt out there.
You can hear it. You can hear it on just here tonight, just a couple of people.
Absolutely. And believe me, your heart goes out to all of them. I've just been fortunate enough to be passing along some good stuff. And that's what I want to be remembered for. My legacy should be that I was a people person. Big Daddy G and the faithful. That's what we're all about.
We love you for that. Don't ever change. Don't ever change.
You know what? Really quick, I would like to ask Garth. Garth, what are you looking for in the way of intro music and things of that sort? Because I've got a vast array of libraries, sound effects, music, you name it. I got it. So let me know what you're looking for. Are you on Facebook, social media? I'm usually on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook, DJ Big Daddy G.
Okay, cool. I'll look you up.
I don't. So just to clarify with the wrestlers, I would refer them to you to reach out.
Okay.
I'm not responsible for their product. I'm responsible to make sure it sounds good.
Gotcha.
Okay, if that makes any sense, because I know that when we broadcast on the television syndicate that broadcasts the wrestling events that we do, you can't use copyrighted music.
Right, exactly.
Okay, because they will literally stop it in the middle of the show if a copyrighted song comes on, and then you don't get the royalties and all the goodies that go with it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the fellows either have stuff that was made, or they're using the instrumentals of the copyrighted music, which you can somehow get away with. I don't understand all the copyright laws. But what I can do is if we want to hook up, if you send me your information, I will pass it on to them as a source of where to go for, intro music. Tell me what you're looking for. Maybe you've got something. It seems to have a very big heavy metal background to it. Again, not my forte. Okay, I'm a country and western kind of guy. Okay, and I like the old stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
60s, 70s. I mean, I got my nickname Big Daddy G. Well, first it came, I don't know why, but anyway, I like oldies, and I like oldies, and I like to eat. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
But that's the life I live.
Right on. And I will reach out to you. I'll slap my Facebook information in here too for my business page, because I got a business landing page there too. I just wanted to let you know that my genetic father, he passed away in December of right at the end of December last year, but he used to do what you do. And he was just a one-man kind of gig, and he played guitar, and he went around to the retirement homes and around the Eau Claire, Wisconsin area. And he would play, the tunes for the elderly, and they loved him. So, he did put smiles on people's faces.
And that's what it's all about. When you see somebody who's 75, 80 years old, and there's no relatives to come visit them, or if they don't, and you light up their face for 2 hours, and they're singing along and they're clapping, and when they leave, they feel better about their situation. Okay, that's what we do. We put smiles on faces. We're not the world's greatest singers. We hit a few clunkers now and then. I swear sometimes we improvise when we've forgotten the song. Okay, and we know what they like. We know if we go in at Rose Hill. Okay, my friend Charlie has to sing Tony Orlando. Okay, if we go to Hamilton Continuing Care, they like Elvis out there. There's things like that you learn that they love. And we're not the type of musicians where we're making up things or we're creating, we're recreating.
Right.
We are impersonators. I like to think I do a fairly decent Louis Armstrong. Okay, but we're just bringing memories back. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's all we're trying to do.
That is awesome.
Roger, go ahead, Roger.
Okay, really quick. We're recording this video. May I have a copy so I can put it up on my page? Because this
absolutely, I'm hoping you would. Anybody that when this is done, I have the copy. I'm going to send you the links. I want you to put it on your Facebook page. I want you to promote Rod February, Cash Duncan, the band, of course, in Australia, Cape Town, as well. And we're trying to get their music out there. So number one priority. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is what shifting the paradigm is all about, brother. This is it. This is it.
This is what we've been doing. And this is exactly why I took this under my control and started doing this, working with my good friend Wade Saxton over here from Smoke and Bacon. And he'll tell you that most of the stuff that you guys want to do, you can do on his app. He's got a big military audience. People that don't like Facebook are on his thing. Hey, Wade, join in.
Yeah, especially people who don't like Facebook. Anybody who doesn't like Facebook is a friend of mine.
I don't like it, but I shit post on there.
Whatever you say. Why would you like them?
Necessary evil.
It is a necessary evil, and I'm here to tell you, as much as you try, we've built our own platform. We have our own social media. We have everything people could want. But as much as you try, you will never leave Facebook, because Facebook is so ingrained in society.
It's really big.
So, and Facebook, they want to be the I'm not even sure how to explain it, but they want to have the biggest thumb on the planet and put it down on everybody that they can.
Yeah.
Amen.
If you compete with them in any way, shape, or form, and I know you just get squashed. Everything from, advertising limitations to even your posts get reviewed by Facebook teams. Every post I make gets reviewed by Facebook teams now. And there's plenty of stories out there in the world of how Facebook specifically does this to any sort of competing business or business wanting to get out information that they find could be detrimental to their business plan. They do it on purpose or they buy them. One of the two. So we built our platform to run freely. You can come in, you can say what you want, do what you want. For the most part, we do have 6 guidelines or 6 rules. And the first one is you don't insult the ladies of Smoking Bacon. Other than that, it's pretty much fair game. So, you know, we built a world where people can come and be themselves without fear of other people. Let me ask you a question. Who here feels that they could put something on their Facebook profile that would be controversial?
I do it all this. Hey, brother, I do it. I do it all the time.
Yep.
I do it all the time.
Okay, so there's a few of you there.
I-
Most people won't.
Right.
What was that, Laura?
I've been jailed too many times with Facebook that
Yep.
now it's just like.
Me too.
hey,
It's a badge of honor, I think.
It is. You know, they shut us down at one point. They put me and all my admins in jail for, we've gotten 30 days, we've gotten 60 days, we've got 90 days bans. And, you know, when they put you in jail, they shut down your business and everything. And there's no way to fight that. So we built a platform that you don't have to worry about that. Matter of fact, we have a community where we embrace people who got thrown in Facebook jail. We want to see what got you there. Come post it. So, because you can get away with it with us. But that has led to a very large veteran following, which is great because we love veterans. We're veterans here. Because everybody just wants to be themselves, you know? And it goes back to the old idea of if you don't like what you see, just turn the channel type deal. Matter of fact, we have a complaint email set up that automatically responds to anybody who emails it. It's complaint@smokingbacon.com. And it is not politically correct in any way, shape, or form. So we don't actually read our complaint emails.
Love that. Stick it to them, Wade. Stick it to them.
So yeah, it definitely tells you what you can do with your complaint email.
Wait, is that smoke and bacon? Smoke and bacon.
Smoke and A&D.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, and I mean, we still have our apparel line, our offensive apparel line. We like stirring the pot. We like creating a little bit of chaos. It's fun.
I think everybody here could say we've been stirring the pot for a long time, and now it's time that we're going to start reaping from the stirred pot.
Oh, absolutely. We enjoy stirring the pot. Let's see. For Christmas, we redid the night before Christmas to the night before fuck book. Yeah. That one caught me a 30-day ban.
Was that wrong of me? Should I not have said that?
No.
You knew what you were doing when you said that, right?
Yeah, thank you.
What? Anyway, before you guys continue, I want to bring John on because I know Rod and Cash are tired. It's 2 a.m. It's now probably later over there now where they're at.
3:30.
Yeah, I know. And we're just gonna bring John on, and then you guys can head out. I don't want to hold you guys up, but John Thielon's my main guy. Of course, this is my main woman, Sandy, my beautiful wife of 30 years. And I'd marry her all over again. She's put up with my garbage for many years. But she's a queen, man. She's a rock, a queen and a rock. I love her so much. But John Thielon is a great friend. And like I said, he's my advertising guy. He's my everything guy. John Thielon.
Thank you, Gene. Great to be here once again. Good evening, everybody. And welcome to Shea Stadium, even though it doesn't exist anymore. Hey, I I appreciate everybody coming in because Gene and I, we commiserate about, hey, John, we're going to do this once. What do you think? Hey, John, I'm thinking of doing that this coming session. What do you think? And that's what we do. These stories, holy fright, how, great's not the right word because it didn't start out great, but here's the thing, being a sports guy, along with doing the radio and voiceovers and what have you, impersonative voices and so forth, from Homer Simpson to Rodney Dangerfield and a bunch in between. I'm also a sports guy. I run a minor league semi-pro 8-man football team up here in Monmouth County, New Jersey. And sports has ended up, I wasn't always a jock. I was the guy who, yeah, he's pretty good. Out of 11 seniors on my football team senior year, 10 got to all state. 11 total. The junior who platooned with me, he also got all state. I didn't. And I was okay with that because the junior deserved it. I didn't. But I love sports. Don't know how many of you, know college basketball, but probably every bit of 25 plus years ago, Jim Valvano, who was the head coach of the North Carolina Wolfpack basketball team, he was diagnosed with cancer and it ultimately got him. But he didn't let it get to him. He always said, don't give up, don't ever give up. And if I had a nickel for every time I have imparted that few words to people and they're like, oh, it resonates, and with things that everybody's doing, whether it's Renee, yourself with the book, Lara with all of your, difficulties, that you're going to come out of this. Trust me, trust your Uncle John, take it to the bank. You're going to come out of this like a million. Okay. And Maureen, the things you do, and Randy, the stuff you're into, and everybody, Rod and so forth down under, what everybody's into, Roger, Wade, Garth. It's helpful, and it's an idea. It all started out as a germ of an idea. And and from my days of selling and marketing in traditional radio, and you'll get the correlation. Ideas will sell, literally or figuratively, more figuratively sometimes than literally, but ideas will sell. We're just stuff will not. You may have some great stuff, but if there's no sizzle on it, no idea on it, it's just stuff. Ideas will sell where stuff will not. And then back to the whole, undercurrent of these stories, these experiential stories tonight. So many people, and I was one of them, so many people see these things as they happen. And I've had stuff happen, but different, and maybe for another time. So many folks see it as just a setback. Period. That's it. Bang, punch in the face, kick in the crotch. It's a setback. Well, it might be for a little bit, but what it can be and should be and is, if you let it, it's a setup for a comeback. Not just a setback. It's a set up for a comeback. And this is what I'm hearing all over tonight. And yeah, that's you all over, Lara. That is you all over. I mean, if you look up, flip, 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 flip. Oh, set up for a comeback. Yeah. Lara Love. I'm damned. That's just how it is. And with everybody, actually, I did.
Comeback is going to be greater than the setback.
I'm sorry.
I said the comeback is going to be so much more greater than the setback.
Please, like nobody's business. I mean, you have no idea. The boss has big plans. Big plans, okay? Again, don't doubt me. It's take it to the bank, and that's just the way it's going to be. I did a show with a former colleague of mine for a couple of years called Real Town with John and Tracy, and I was mentioning this to Rod earlier about being with Roger being on the radio. I've done a bunch of that, but the Real Town came from, I'm the unofficial self-proclaimed mayor of Real Town. Okay. Not really. Because the older I get, the more I'm more inclined to not participate in the bullshit goes on out there that's not real. It's just, what do you want to say? Just, I don't know, phony baloney, plastic banana nonsense. Okay. I really, really like to effort as much as I can on being as real as I can. I even will Facebook post, from the mayor of Real Town, and then here's my thought of the day or thought of the moment. And you don't have to agree with it. That's not the point. The point is it's real. Okay. You like it, you loathe it. You like it, lump it, take it down the road and dump it. But at the end of the pontification, it is real. Okay. So to put it all in a little nice little package between the stories, between don't give up, don't ever give up, between the ideas and concepts will work, will sell, will be in, and I'm not talking about people buying all the time, will be embraced, where just stuff will not. And the setbacks being a setup for a comeback. It's all part of the real town way. That's another thing I have. It's the real town way. I'll post things of people. There it is. Renee, you got it. You see, right there. Never give up. It's Jim Valvano 101.
John, this was my best friend's bracelet.
Oh,
that
the one that passed
I
away.
found, the one who I went to visit at the cemetery today.
Beautiful.
I found
Right,
it
man.
under in her sock drawer. Don't ask me why I did this. I don't know who goes into their best friend's drawer after they pass away.
Right.
I did. I do believe I was, and it wasn't laying on top. It was like buried underneath. And I found, and I knew that she would want me to have it. So I was wearing it so much, I started wearing it out, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So I carry it with me all the time, and I carry her with me in my heart.
Well,
This is never give up.
And that's the bottom line, whether it's one thing or another, whether it's your best good friend who is no longer with us, we'll get together one day. I'm in no hurry, by the way, just so everybody knows. But we'll get together one day, and that'll be very great. Or so whether it's something like that, or someone with the national gravitas in sports like Jim Valvano had, he was huge. And when you hear some guy who can barely walk up on stage, and I think the first ESPY Awards back in '93, up there, and if you didn't know, you wouldn't know. He's up there faking it until he makes it, making it home, that is. Talking about don't give up, don't ever give up, okay? And you're like, wow, this guy's in constant severe pain. He's riddled with whatever the heck cancer it was, and he's up there telling everybody it's cool, just don't give up, And it all pertains to what you're doing, what we're doing, what's being done, what's coming, and then the association that we're going to have, whatever it may be. Maureen, I'm going to get with you about this whole diabetic thing, because I'm type 2, okay? And it's a fairly recent event in my life, and I don't like it. I don't freaking like it. It ticks me off. It hacks me off. And you got to be kidding me. What? Until I'm 47, 48 years old, I'm out playing football. I'm your starting right tackle out of Susquehanna University. And then all of a sudden, bang, really? You kidding me? So I wouldn't have known this if we hadn't all gotten together tonight. I wouldn't have known about, with you, Rod, and everybody down on Australia, about all this that can be done, and yourself, Renee, and Lara. I mean, you've been on here before, but I mean, this is a different thing tonight. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And when you need a little real, come see the mayor of Real Town, okay? You might not be happy with it at the moment, but you know what? 10 minutes later, it'll be, yeah, that's okay. We're pals. I'm not going to do anything no, that's not how it rolls around here. That's not the Real Town way. Don't give up. Always have an idea, because that's what sells. And the setback, don't forget, it's a setup for a comeback. That's the Real Town way, kids. That's what it's all about, And even to one more sports thing, and it applies. Here we are together. Right now, there are 10 of us. There were 12, 13 of us. And, people have things to do. But here's the thing. If you ever watch Any Given Sunday, Al Pacino as the head coach, he's in the locker room, and we got to do this together, or we're going to have a problem. Either we all come together, stay together as a group, as a team, or we will die as individuals right here and right now, knowingly or not. So I'm in. I think you all are in. From what I can tell, life is good, man. This is a great group.
We're all in. But listen, before anybody else says anything, again, anybody who wants to leave, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave because I want to thank you for being here, but I'm not leaving.
I got to
there's
scoot, Gene, but you know what?
no
This has
problem.
been very great. Maureen, let's be in touch.
So, yes, I just,
Thank you, John, for being here.
Thank you.
I
Roger,
wanted
good
to
to meet you.
thank everybody. I wanted to thank everybody. It's been a fabulous meeting. It's been a pleasure. I've met some of you before, but I have to say, Mr. and Mr. Rod and your team there, I'm humbled. I'm humbled to be on this call and see people so invested that they're up in the middle of the night. I was telling Gene, UK Health Radio had a Zoom call and they had 44 countries represented on a call. And so the time span for 44 screens was 36 hours. So we saw people at breakfast, lunch, in their pajamas, the sun rising, the sun going down. I'm humbled that you stayed on the call. Yeah, exactly. It's been a pleasure. And like I said, we've got platforms going, and somehow I'm going to get your music, Mr. Rod, into the Nashville arena here. So
Thanks a lot, Maureen. Thanks for that. And just know that
I'll have to call my friend Blake Shelton and get you on The Voice or something.
That would be awesome.
that would be great. Just know this, though, that we are humbled to be part of this, because I've listened and I heard, to people like yourself, Laura, and all these other people, stories that were so inspirational that when we walk away or go to sleep, and whenever we do, is that we will sleep with more knowledge and blessedness than we've had. The hour we spent together, 1.5 hours we spent together, means more to me now than I would have spent 1.5 hours sleeping. Guys like Wade, like Roger, like John, these things. I mean, like, Garth came up with this story, you, Maureen, came up, telling us about, being 40 years this and this and things like that. These are things that I cannot, dream of.
Right.
But I've witnessed it, and I want to thank each and everyone. And just want to say one thing too. Being with you guys, also, I feel will help. Long term, not just for what it is now. So thank you very much.
Yeah, very excited to play your music. And I said the platforms alone, just to embed your music onto my show, which also goes into the UK platform, and that goes out to totally different countries. So very excited. But with that being said, somebody has to be leading the party, sir, and that'll be me. So I shall be in touch.
Fantastic.
Great
Thanks, Maureen.
Thank
See you
you.
later, Maureen.
Bye, Maureen.
Bye, Maureen. Bye,
Gino.
John. But before you guys go,
Gino.
Bye, John.
Just want guys to let you know that Mo Life was here. Mo Life is a entrepreneur in California. He was only here for a short time.
My nickname is Mo, and I'm like, now I got my own one.
No, Mo Life. That's his real name. But he is an entrepreneur, and he is of millionaire status. And he's one who wants to help us. He already told me, he said, I want to help you guys. Anything I can do for anybody, let me know.
Wow.
So you'll get his contact info. And we'll all maybe have another Zoom meeting together. We're going to make something work. Guaranteed.
No
Gino,
worries.
thank you very much. Ron,
Thanks,
everybody,
Mike.
Maureen.
Gina, I have a question. You were talking about the podcast and who wants to help with the mental health, and we talked about that. Do you want to talk at another time about that, or what are we doing?
No, we can talk now. I mean, listen, everybody suffers from mental health. I went through domestic abuse as a child. I saw my mother get hit by my dad. My dad beat me. And then I was sexually abused by the babysitter and her brother. I'm not afraid to say that, but that's what happened to me. That set my life up for more compassion, but I'm also screwed up in the head with a lot of things. And the mental health is everybody. My wife was bullied. I was bullied as a kid. So a lot of mental health issues are just people living life. So it really, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
So what do you have? What's happening to move forward? Are you doing a podcast or?
Well, we're gonna do a show on mental health. Maureen and I are gonna do one on physical health, and that's where we're gonna bring a lot of the drugs that people take and stuff like that, and have addiction specialists on here like you. But our mental health is going to pertain to what people deal with on an ongoing daily basis, how you deal with it, how they deal with it. What type of form do you give them to help them along type of
Right,
form.
right.
So we're going to
The
deal
day
with
to day,
more of
the
the
day to day,
preventions
right.
and health. Yeah.
I get it.
Any
Okay.
questions? Anybody else?
Yeah, Gino, I do. I got a couple actually. First, I would like you to tell the people about you, Hamilton Radio, and everything you've done to make Hamilton Radio what it is right now, and why we're all together doing this today. And Zoom radio. Listen to me. Zoom radio. No, I want to save the chat in here with everybody's links. And I've been trying to right click and copy, select all.
I don't know how it works.
Oh man, everybody's links are in there, and I'm like,
You know what? Usually there's normally an ellipsis on the right, but instead on this one it says file. Normally the ellipsis, you click on the three dots and it says save chat. But for whatever reason, this only says Dropbox, Microsoft on mine. It doesn't say anything about saving the chat, so I'm not trying to do it either.
Damn. Well, maybe we go through Gene as the
Yeah.
arbiter.
As
of
I
the-
say,
the
as I say,
disperser of
just
information.
text me, or email me, or Facebook me. I want to reach out to Randy. I want to reach out to Renee. I want to reach
Can
out
you
to
catch a
Roger.
smoke signal, Gene? I'm only 25, 30 miles up the street. No?
No.
Okay.
No, but I want to, thanks, Roger. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys know Hamilton Radio has been around for 25 years. We started out in 96, 97. I worked in local radio years ago, and was a DJ. I was a weather person, and I also did overnight music. And I also did local areas, around here in New Jersey. I worked at a couple FM radio stations, and I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. Here's the thing about the news. When I did the news, this is something that Roger probably understand. When I did the news, they asked me to recopy what was already coming through the news wire. And I said, okay, I'll recopy it. But if I recopy it and somebody else recopies it, it's not news anymore. It's you created something from the news that was just there. And that's what they want you to do. So the news organizations constantly recreate what they want to go out to people. That's not true. And they constantly lie to us, the public, because guess what? We're receiving the news. Well, you know what? For the last couple of years, I haven't watched the news. I don't watch what goes on in the news. Sometimes I'll look at Facebook. Sometimes I'll look at, other friends of mine that have information, but I don't look at the news. So I'm not getting the news that you guys are being penetrated with. And I'm more positive than ever because of it, because I have no negative around me. And it's hard to do, but it's easy once you implement it to create. I'm working with my friend Lisa Coppola. She was supposed to be here tonight. Lisa Coppola is doing a thing called Manage Infinite Possibilities. And what that teaches you is you can do anything that you ever wanted to do. You just have to put your foot out and walk, pretty much. So that's what this radio station has been doing for the last 25 years, going into the next 25 years. Hopefully, we're looking for other avenues, other formats, other places where other people aren't, and to kind of like look at it in a different perspective. We do music tributes to people that die that aren't from Facebook, that not everybody knows who they are, but they're people. They're people that families know. They're people that families understand, and sometimes they need that consoling. Why other radio stations do it? Because there's no money. There's no money involved. And they don't want to take their format or their time to do anything like that. So that's why I look at ourselves as there's no competition out there with us, because nobody does what we do. Nobody goes outside the rules the way we do. Nobody plays the music the way we do, the way the artist meant for it to be played. When somebody gives me 2 or 3 songs, I'm like, okay, great. Do you have any more? Yeah, I have a whole CD. Well, send me the whole CD, because what I usually do, I'll play more of the songs from the CD. That's how Rod, his music got played. when I heard more songs, I kept playing it, kept playing it, kept playing it.
Absolutely.
The exposure, right? Exposure only happens when we let it happen. If nobody lets it happen, you're only going to be heard what you give them. So I blame the artists too, because they're putting it on YouTube for free a lot of times, and Spotify, but they're not sending the people to the radio stations that constantly play them where they get royalties. Now I understand why there's a lot of, ifs, ands, or buts about that, because Spotify does have people there that listen, and that's great. But don't ever forget the stations that tried to help you make it.
On the artist side of that, it's a big expense to send it out to a radio station that may or may not listen to it.
And that's the other thing, Randy.
I finally got somebody to, put their, stamp on it, to do a very limited, 75 radio stations, mailer, because again, you could send it out.
Roger can answer that, because I think what the problem is a lot of times with the music guys, it's not that I get emails all the time from people. I don't even know if they're real emails. I'm afraid to click on the links. If you're going to send music out, you got to let people know, hey, I'm such and such. I'm sending you songs. I want you to listen to them and see if you like them and they fit your format. That's great. I have no problem with that. But they get me to go to YouTube. They get me to go here. I got to download it. It's too much work for us to do. And
Yes,
then we
it
don't
is.
play it.
Yes, it is. And you know what? When, all right. So on the FM dial, it was Wolf 108 FM. Eau Claire's Radio Revolution is what we went by. And we focus on independent talent from around the region, Minnesota, Canada, I think, even Wisconsin, and we also played commercial music, but our main forte was focusing on regional talent, the unsigned people. And after I left there, I ended up getting with an outfit, and this is crazy the way this happened. I was like, all right, for shits and giggles, I'm going to look online and see who else is out there by the name of Wolf, because Wolf medicine is a big part of my life. They even visited me in a dream one night. I was like, whoa, I'll have to share that dream at one time. But big wolf paw in my hand, spirit wolves running down, not touching the ground, and adorned in native North American makeup, the feathers and everything, all different colors, shapes, sizes. I was like, oh, what? So I put my left hand up in the air and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. This big wolf paw lands in my hand gently, bigger than my paw. And I was like, whoa, it was intense. I remember that dream like it was yesterday. But anyway, so yeah, I look online to see who else has got a radio station out there by Wolf, because I left in 2003 or 4. I didn't like the business practices going on behind the scenes. So it was 2006. I come across this Wolf Rock Radio. And I'm like, okay, well, my moniker was the Highlander. This guy was running his own station out of Kentucky. His name was the Watcher, for those people who were into the Highlander show and all that. And I was like, okay, well, I guess here's a match made in heaven. Well, it was for a little while. And then the FCC came out and said, well, you're going to have to pay to play the commercial music for independent radio stations, right? They came out with the law, excuse me. And he goes, oh, great. What the hell are we going to do now? And I said, we're going to do exactly what we were doing at the local radio station I worked for, but we're going to expand it globally. And that's what we did. We went and we were a big MySpace hit, right? We even had Molly Hatchet reach out to us going, hey, we know you guys are into independent talent, but would you guys mind playing our new song, Son of the South, when they came out with that new album? Hey, we'd be delighted. Thank you. So we had people from all over the world on MySpace. I would go seek them out. They would seek us out. Yeah, and the stacks of CDs I had piled up, I was in charge of all of that, right? So yeah, it's great, and it's us, not the corporation, not the corporations that have enslaved everyone for how long. It's us who we're taking our power back as individuals, and collectively we're creating something that should have happened a long time ago. So, but at least it's happening now. Like I said, are we going to be able to see the benefits of it? in our lifetimes, no, but at least we're here for the beginning of it, people.
Well, Roger, I just want to say that a lot of the artists that were mainstream, that were in a band, unfortunately, guys, this is what you're going through, Randy, too. They're unknowns. Nobody knows the people from the band they were in, and even if it was a mainstream band, who is that? Where'd they come from? The 80s or 90s? Never heard that name before.
Well, like your
Because
friend from
people
Clap
only
2,
know
Gene.
this. They only know the song. They only know the band as a band, but they don't know the individual players unless it's somebody like the Beatles. So that's kind of where mainstream is right now. They're trying to find their location or place where they can be. And there hasn't been anything really written in the last, 10, 20 years that's so significant as songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm sorry. There's some songs that are good, but they're not like they were like one hit after the other, one hit. We're just talking to Bobby Wilson, Jackie Wilson's son. And Bobby Wilson said, I'm creating new music, but nobody knows who I am. So they're all going through that spot where they can't even get out there to get their music played. And when you talk to mainstream people, they don't even know who they are. So
a lot of songwriters are going through that too, because people know the hits, but they're really not paying attention to who really wrote it. I had this discussion with David Navarro, who wrote "We Belong" for Bab Benatar.
Correct.
And he's hustling now, and fighting and trying to get gigs and get things started, but things are just in such flux that everyone's fighting to get something started.
Right, but the thing
even
is
established people are fighting to get something rekindled and rebooted.
But where we're going right now, everybody, is the music industry is shit. It's gone. It's dead. The music industry as we knew it is gone. People are out there self-publishing their own stuff now. Okay. They're self-publishing and they're using YouTube and any and all platforms out there to say, hey, this is who we are. If you dig our stuff, let us know. And I've shared so many different independent artists because, I love heavy metal and things of that sort, but my musical taste is wide and expansive. Yeah. So that's where we're all heading right now. And my friend who's going to be the co-host on one of my friends on the show, she is a professional singer, has sang with some big names, but she says she's really sick and tired of the corporate scene. She'll go in and the engineers are like, hey, we want you to do this, but I want to do this. Oh yeah, you can do that. You can do that. But they never let her do what she wants to do. It's always what they want her to do. And she goes, I'm sick of it. I've had enough. So I had a 1-hour consultation with her several weeks ago, and I assisted her with picking up the equipment that she needs to record at home. I might end up being one of her engineers, as a matter of fact. And so, I set her up to start recording her own thing. Because I told her, I said, the way of the world now, everyone is coming into their own individual power. And that's where it's at. True authority comes from within. So they're self-producing now. They're going out there and they're saying to the establishment, because it's evil. It's been infiltrated by evil. Go ahead, Gino.
No, you're right. It absolutely is. And you're right. That's why there are artists like Randy that write songs about what she knows and what she experiences. And that's why songs are so, to me, when I wrote a song called Yes, We Can, that's exactly what I meant. Me and my friend Anthony Longo wrote that song called Yes, We Can, because that's what we can do. We can do this. We can do anything we want. And when I wrote Bonfire with Anne-Marie Paserno and Lisa Coppola and a couple other people, the song is supposed to set that spark, just what we're doing now, setting that spark, making us all excited and happy and proud to be either on this call or part of what we are, this little concept. But it's growing. Like John said, it's going to grow. It's going to get bigger. And that's what a bonfire does. So I'm living to the extreme through my song. But at the same time, these were my passions all along. And I think that if a songwriter can put that into words and music that's melodic, the song is never going to die. It'll never die. It's your baby. It'll live forever.
The question is, where is it going to live forever?
Well,
And, if you're writing a song for the sake of writing a song, that's fabulous. That's why you should write music.
Right.
But expecting to get any monetary gain out of it is like a whole
it's hard.
6-hour discussion on, again, the shifts in the music business and Spotify and, 0.02 cents for a music
You're right.
play.
But Rod and Cash could go through the same thing. They could tell you the same thing, that
Absolutely.
if you're excited about being in this industry, you better learn that you're not going to make any money, and people are going to cheat you along the way, and people are going to try to screw you and for what you have left.
The do-it-yourself musician is a huge part of the market, but only 1% of the musicians are making money.
Very true.
And those are the ones coveted by the record companies and who really do control the industry. And people don't understand how they control Spotify and how they control, pieces of YouTube and, everything else. So it's an incestuous business. Not for the faint of heart.
So
you can come here.
One of the things that I just experienced recently, and I went into a huge rabbit hole. I mean, it just kept going and going until finally I had to shut off my computer because I was so confused. So I started by looking out to license a song, to do it the correct way, how to license a song. And that led to all sorts of fucking different websites, rules, regulations, licensing types, mechanical, synchronous, ownership, master, all these other things. And then there's apparently licenses you're supposed to have as a social media company just for other people to throw up their music on your website. And you're like, huh? I have to be licensed for other people to be able to drop shit up there? That's ridiculous. But yeah,
they keep coming up with new laws and new reasons. And
well, no, that's always been. It's like they consider you, if you were a music hall, okay, and you had a cover band in there, technically you play a cover song and and that establishment is supposed to cover royalties.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're trying to get some of these sites to react the same way. And from your perspective, you're losing money, Wade. From my perspective, you're using my music.
See, and that's the thing is, I don't mind paying for a license. I don't mind paying for one of those licenses like YouTube or Facebook or TikTok have. I'm okay with that. Just somebody make it fucking easy to figure out which one I gotta get.
That's the problem, yeah.
And that's the problem. And BMI and ASCAP, the leaders in this are useless.
Yes, those are the two kicking my ass right now.
Yeah. I wish I'm BMI. I wish I wasn't BMI. Yeah, but I don't think ASCAP's any better. I'm trying to change. Sony Orchard changed my ICR codes or my codes for no reason. I don't even know. And now to get everything to line up is like an act of God. So
I'm going through BMI the other day, and I'm going through ASCAP the other day, and neither one of them's got a good, clear definition of what license you need. It just tells you every way they're going to kick your ass if you don't have one. And I'm just like, so I start. You have to put in all your information to even get a price on this shit, right? And then I get emails of, you didn't complete your purchase. You need to complete your purchase or we can come after you. I'm like, well, can you tell me which license I fucking need? And
try finding a number to call somebody and get somebody on the phone for a simple question. Another act of God.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like, y'all are kidding me. You know what? I'm going to buy stock fucking songs. Y'all can kiss my ass. It's cheaper.
No, but that's exactly what she's trying to say is who's going to play her music then if it's all screwed up? And that's exactly what we find over and over again.
Even with the stock songs, apparently I got to have an ASCAP license because they stream. I'm like, kicking my ass.
What needs to happen is someone needs to put out a new radio station that is focused solely on independent talent and quit fucking with the corporate BS, guys. Seriously, get out of it. It's dead. It is going right down. It's going down the crapper. All right. It's dead. Get out of the corporate scene and create something for yourselves. You know what I mean? And create a radio station and utilize Hamilton Radio and get your songs out there. You know, if I had a radio station right now, I'd take everybody's music and say, here you go, check them out, go show them some love. You know, that's what we did on MySpace.
Yeah, but see,
And
the
we're gonna
whole,
see
the
if
whole
folks-
idea.
I mean, they're out there. They're out there. I've connected with quite a few, and a few of them, Galaxy 107, in New Zealand, Australia, you know, some in the Netherlands, and they're connected somehow. These chains of independent, you know, and most of them are internet radio, but a lot of them are not registering their playlists with who is it? I want to say AMA. That's not right. Yeah, it is AMA, the Americana. I'm registered with them finally, but they collect and try to keep this data and just who's a number of plays, not even to pay back, just to see who's being played. And a lot of these independents aren't doing us any favors by just saying who's being played. You know, we don't get credit for it, and then in the long run.
You know what? We would link people. They, you know, like there was a specific group where I put together, they recorded 4 songs in a bar live, and I took them and mixed them all together to make it sound like it was a set of 4 songs, and they were a Scottish, all-female Scottish punk group called the Headrons. All right, they were badass, and I put it together, and they said, hey, yeah, you can use our stuff. Link back to our site. And I said, all right. And I would make shows, and I'm like, you can find these ladies on whatever, and you know, just go check them out. Show them some love. That's what people need to do.
Yeah, it's really that simple.
Part of the problem is all these regulations that are just ridiculous now.
Right.
This is coming from a guy who runs social media, not even from a radio station. Like my radio
I love you, Wade. You're not bitter. I love it.
I let Gene run my license.
I'm not bitter. I just hate the establishment. God damn it.
Think about this for a second. I've got this rabbit hole I went down the other day. As a social media person, as a person.
How many rabbit holes do you have in your yard?
Enough. As a social media person, I have a platform that all these people can come to and get their information out. But before any of that can happen, I now have to deal with BMI, ASCAP, AMA, some other asshole with 3 letters. All right, all of them want freaking licenses, or they're going to come after you just so you can upload your own song on my platform and I don't get in trouble. Now, on top of that, I have to track every single fucking song that gets played on my platform, because at the end of the year, I got to provide a list of every single song that was played. So if you upload your song, I have to track it somehow digitally in a list. If you upload a video with a song in the background, I have to track it and have it on a list.
Yeah.
If you're on a live stream with a song playing in the background, I have to track it and have it on a list. It's not worth it.
I know.
No, I'm sorry, it's not worth it for you. Some other DJs have found a way around that. I know Joe.
That's what I'm
on Nowhere Radio. What he does is he actually publishes his playlist on Facebook, and he gives the artist the love. And it could be the Cranberries, it could be somebody local, but everyone knows who he's playing.
That's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Our playlists are published through Gene. What I'm saying is like Facebook, when you upload a video with a song in it,
right?
I have to track that now to our social media.
Right.
So if you upload a copy of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine because it's cool, somehow I have to record that and turn that into all these agencies at the end of the year that you, Randy, uploaded this video. I had nothing to do with it. You uploaded it on my social media platform and it got played 15 zillion times. I've got to turn that documentation in. It'll take me an entire team just to manage other people's posts, putting data in. And it's not even me wanting your music. I want your music, but it's not me saying, hey, I want to play your music. It's just other people posting. Facebook apparently has 75 people on staff that do nothing but record all the music that's played so they can fill out these forms for these licensing.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, they're Nazis with covers.
Right.
You know, if you put it, if I cover a song and I say this is so and so cover, it's they just take it down. They don't even count it.
And that's because now it's just ridiculous. It
Well,
really is ridiculous.
again, they're covering their own licensing is what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and how many people are playing all these songs and the artist doesn't get credit?
Agreed.
Yeah.
And when we try and do it right,
See you guys later, eh?
see you, Rod. When we try
Thank
and
you,
do
Rod.
it right,
We'll
just like
catch
me,
up.
I'm a
Roger
small
will
Yeah.
guy
catch up.
trying to do it
Randy
right.
will catch up.
I know. I wonder if the MLC, the multiple listing. Good
Who the hell
night.
is that now?
They're trying to bring all of this together in one agency, the MLC.
Yeah,
You know-
because the amount of effort to allow somebody just upload a video with a soundtrack on it is ridiculous.
Right.
Listen, I agree 100% with both of you because I understand Randy.
Yeah, it's my side of it is, hey, it's my song, freaking give me credit. And you're like, the paperwork involved is a freaking nightmare, and I really get it.
Yeah, but they
So
make
I'm
it that
hoping-
way. So it's hard to play for you so your music doesn't get out there. I
Right.
said this years ago. It's not the radio station that wants to play you. It's the royalty right company trying to tell you, yeah, we'll get you played, but where?
Yeah.
Right. And I've gotten credit for nothing, and I know there's airplay out there, you know, and it's frustrating from my perspective where I'm getting the listing, hey, you were here, and then the royalty says, well, you weren't played. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have 32 things here that I know I was played, you know,
Yeah,
and it's very
so-
frustrating.
So
Nobody
the way that
checks on
works
it.
is from what I was reading, and this is just from what I was reading across all these multitude of sites. So your song comes to me in some way, shape, or form, whether it's attached, somebody did a video and attached your song, or you went on there and played your song live on my platform.
Okay.
But I have to write down Randy at this date, this time played this song.
And spell my name right,
Right.
get the title of the song right.
And somehow I
Okay.
gotta figure out this freaking ICRA number or whatever the hell it is. I don't even
Right.
know who you are. I mean, I know who you are.
Right.
But the song, I have no idea where to find this information. I gotta figure out every person that's a freaking owner of this song. But there could be like 50 people who are co-owners of
Exactly.
this song.
Yep,
And I gotta
yep.
have this record. Now, not only do I have to have this record that this happened at this date, this time, if somebody re-watches it, I gotta create another record. If somebody shares it, I gotta create another record because they don't want to know that it was.
Oh,
just
here's
you.
something else.
They want to
Wait,
know
this-
every time.
Did you know this? All right, suppose you're a gem and you play my song, you actually spell my name right, and you give me credit, and you played it 10 times, and you report it nicely. Did you know that there's actually a cutoff that these companies have? It's like $25, $50. If I don't make the cutoff, they give my money to a top performer. Yeah, you didn't know that, right? So if I got $24.50 and the cutoff is $25 or whatever the hell they artificially make this fucking number, I don't get a dime of it. It's going to go to one of their top performers. That 1% is going to get my money.
Randy, this is like the government saying, hey, I'm not touching your money. Go see the guy over there. He's touching your money, but the government's stealing it all along. And,
Yeah,
and they're pitting us against each other. And
it's
that's what they're doing. They're
ridiculous.
taking the radio stations, pitting us against you. And
Well, it's
giving the money
YouTube,
to
it's
me.
Spotify, it's BMI does that. All these platforms have cutoffs. So last year I made $12 on Spotify
That's not
because
funny.
it was that's over the cutoff. So, you know, they have their 0.02 cents for each 20-second play. You know, so I made a whole $12, you know, and I'm like, great, I made the cutoff. Where's the rest of my money? You know, like, but they all do it.
There just
Randy,
needs
I
to
have
be
a
an
couple friends
easier
that are
way.
I
There
have a
has
couple-
to be.
I have a couple friends and musicians, and they have music in like soundtracks and movies and TV shows.
Right.
And they said that's the only way they'll get a residual money from it, because they were played like 1,000 times on my station alone, and they never got a penny for it. They're played on TV, they're played in movies, they're played here. Now they're starting to get residual checks.
I have a friend. I have a friend. He's a producer, and he wrote this song. And he actually submitted. This is a good story. He submitted it on Taxi, and it was forwarded, and it actually wound up as the title track to an Indian soap opera. The Indians in Bollywood love their soap operas. You got to see these. They're hysterical. They're worse than anything America can do. They're hysterical. But they've been playing his stupid soundtrack, and he said it's the cheesiest thing ever. But they've been using his song for like 14 years, and every month he gets his check.
All right, well, let me tell you one thing about some of the reporting agencies like Live 365 and Stream Licensing and Loud City, all these companies that I've had to have, but then I found out they weren't paying, that I was giving them the money. They weren't paying everybody, giving them the money to the royalty companies. So they're coming at us. ASCAP come to me and said, well, you know, this guy is not paying. I don't know. I'm giving them the money. They're paying. And he says, oh, no, they're not paying. And 2 or 3 months down the road, I found out, guess what? They're going out of business because they swindled all that money from people. What did they do with it? They didn't go after them. So it's like we're working in between something that we want to get done, but we're held back. We can't do anything about it.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
And BMI are useless.
Okay,
they're all useless.
You can. You say, fuck the system. You get out there, you keep your radio station going, and you play whatever the hell you want to play, and you support the people you want to support, and you tell big corporate daddies, seriously, you tell them to go get stuffed, dude. Just no, because it is us now. We are not under their power anymore. Now is our time. Now is our time, Gino. Okay, fuck all that crap. It's just no, it's
yeah, but
no.
you have to bend to it a little bit, otherwise the artist doesn't get their justice.
If you bend to what they want you to do while they suck up all the revenue from your creation, you're going to get screwed 100% of the freaking time.
Yeah, but if I don't get out there, what's the trade-off? I don't get out there.
You get screwed no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're a musician, bend over,
Well, the same could be applied to everybody else too. You're so-and-so, bend over. And that's what I'm saying is that, I just
and then he goes down the rabbit hole.
I just checked out licensing, and this may not seem like a lot, but it's just $5,000 alone for the 3 licenses I need for a year, just to allow you to play your own music on my platform so that I don't take fines.
That is such bullshit.
Yeah, that's not even to make money to give you. That is just for the licensing.
It's crazy. It's like mafia with the government.
My other option is anytime somebody posts something that has any sort of music in the post, I instantly delete it and censor them. That is my other option.
There goes Randy.
Yeah, that's what Facebook does.
Yeah.
You would, and if those licensing, if that money actually went back to the artist, it might actually be, hey, wait, I'll help you fill out the paperwork. But who the hell knows where that money's going?
We know you ain't getting it. There's no way you're getting it. That's just for them to come back and say, okay, it's been a year. I want you to report every song and every time it's been played with all this information so I can see what I really need to charge you for the year.
Mm-hmm. And you go,
yep. So
that's what they get in return.
And the thing is, the more complicated they make it, and they know this, Roger, the more complicated they make it, the more people decide not to have a radio station because it's too freaking complicated. It costs way too much, and they don't even want to be bothered with it. And people like Randy that were being played there don't get played there anymore. So now they got to find another outlet to be played on, which means that everything is shrinking.
Unfortunately, their lawyers are better and have deeper pockets than all of ours.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay, so I had no idea BMI, Spotify were doing all this bullshit. So the last time I had to deal with anything like that was in 2006 when the FCC changed the rules saying that you had to pay to play commercial music. period. That's it. So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and go worldwide indie, and we did, and we never got any flack for it. So how long ago was it that these corporations came in and muscled everybody, including indie talent? How long ago was that?
This has been coming over years because ASCAP and BMI are under fire because of things like Spotify, playing all these songs for free. And there's been kind of a backlash, and now they've kind of gone over here, and then the music companies actually started buying stock in all of these places, and then it just got all convoluted.
As long as they're going to make the money, that's the thing. They don't care about us. We're small potatoes to anybody.
Yep. And so the late 70s, mid to late 70s, there was a movie put out, and it's called FM, when corporations were coming along and sucking up all the independent radio stations across the United States. I watched it freaking happen. And they did it because they did it to put the money in their pockets. And they took disc jockeys and turned them into board operators. How fucking clinical is that, people?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they took they took any and all personality away from the DJ. I grew up listening to DJs that would take you on a ride, a magic voyage, every night. And now they're just regurgitating the shit corporate tells them to regurgitate. All right. So they can make a minimum wage paycheck, So it's really time that people just say, we're not doing what you're telling us to do anymore, because where are the laws? Where do they get off on saying they can charge out the ass for independent music? They had nothing to do with it, its creation, in creating it, period. Okay.
Or any music, really, because all independent music is created from the infusions of the music that they heard to create their songs.
Here's how slick they are. This is how slick they are. Sony Records, right?
Creation.
Sony Records, it's huge, right? And they realize that the indie market is growing. So what do? They created a division of Sony that deals strictly with the do-it-yourself artist, and they own pieces of. They own Sony Orchard. They own. I had a publishing deal with CEN, which was a division of Sony Records that dealt with the do-it-yourself artist, the indie artist. They got so big that Sony now absorbed them into the mainstream part of Sony. So they've now got a huge foothold in the indie market. So, like Sony Orchard, I haven't made that release under their Sony Orchard. I made nothing, and that got a huge play. I released after that on DistroKid, and I'm making some money. Like, I'm seeing some chord, but these Sony, the record labels have their fingers now in everything.
And I would rather pay the Randys of the world directly for their music, but I'm not even allowed to do that. That violates licensing.
Hey, I played your song. Here's your, 0.02 cents or whatever.
Right. That violates licensing too. It's like, what the fuck? Now, we haven't even gotten to double licensing yet. So,
it's crazy.
I've got the streaming radio through Gene, right? Now get this shit. He's got all the licensing and all that. You can listen to it on the internet. I can link to it from my app, but I cannot stream it into my app without another type of license at the same time, even though it's already licensed through Gene.
But that doesn't make any sense, Kuwait, because when we had an app, if you put the link on the app or put the stream on the app, you're listening to it on the app. What's the difference?
There's no difference in my world, but there's a difference in the licensing world.
Yeah.
So
the mechanical versus the whatever.
My own radio station through Gene into my own app, I have to have another license.
Yeah.
So it's honestly cheaper not to do any of it and just pay the fines if you get caught.
And that's what a lot of people are doing, and I don't blame them. Because
what's the fine? $200, $1,000? You probably still beat the price of the license.
Well, think about it: $5,000 every month, $5,000 a year. Whatever it is.
You're probably
you're still way ahead.
you know what? You're better off just sucking up the fine and do what you want to do, play what you want to play, and say fuck the establishment. Hear that, establishment? I'm talking to you. I'm
It's
so
ridiculous, especially for us that want to do it right, that want to make sure that everybody gets what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
They made it so fucking hard that you
But
can't.
But the thing is you can take that power and take that power and responsibility on for yourself instead of letting these big assholes, these big fish, do it for you, because they're screwing everybody over and nobody gets anything and it's all going in their pockets. Same as it's the same shit, different pile. Okay, so people have to take the power into their own hands and just say, we're done with you. This is how we're doing it now, and that's what we're coming into.
Do what you want, because if the musicians get screwed.
No.
I mean, we're all
If the license we get screwed, we don't get our money. Without a license, we don't get recognized. There's no money, and there.
Well, what I would rather do is I'd rather put together a pot, a percentage of subscriptions every month, and every artist that's played, you just split up the pot every month.
Yeah,
and
you go.
You pay them, whether it's 10 cents or $10 or $1,000, whatever it is that month. The artists that were played, they get that money. That's what I'd like to do.
That's
but that
awesome
violates
idea.
different licensing.
But that's what I'm saying. It's to the point now where,
but literally you are.
But you have to make your own license. You just have to say, nobody gave you permission. I don't consent to the bullshit you're trying to push onto me and absorb whatever it is. No, it's oh man, I'm sorry, Gino. This just pisses me off. Bad.
Let's talk about, I'm going to go in about 5 minutes, but Sirius Radio and absorbing XM, because what they did was they called themselves streaming. They weren't a radio station, they were streaming. And so they only had half the fees that a radio station had. Yet they were playing more music because there's less DJs and interaction. They were just making money like hand over fist. They finally got stepped on, and their fees, licensing fees, they're trying to catch up for what radio station. They're trying to even it out for what, we called ourselves streaming, and the whole fee structure shifted,
That's FM radio. FM radio says that for years, that they're not an internet radio station, yet they're streaming on the internet, which is the same thing that we're doing.
Right. Oh, no, we're not radio station. We're streaming,
So, when you go to the ASCAP website, there is like 12 different fucking licenses. If you have a mobile app, you need a license. If you have a website, you need a license. But the mobile app license won't work for the website license and vice versa. But if you do streaming, you need a different license. But if that streaming is live, you need a different license.
Wade, you don't want this advice, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. I set up my whole program. I worked with an entertainment lawyer. He beat the Gibson guitar on their rights to claim they were trying to say anyway, he's big. He probably could sit down and tell you, and he's very good to musician because he's a bass player. For a few bucks, he can tell you how the best way to go.
Oh, I would kill for that. I literally would kill someone for him.
Somebody that has
his name is Ron Beanstock. Let me get you his contact information.
There you go. That's beautiful, Randy.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that the thing with the music that you guys are missing is it's not that the radio stations don't want to play them. It's they're afraid to play them. They're afraid to play mainstream artists. But here's the thing. When this radio station last year, before it switched back to Live 365, when we were stream licensing, I had somebody from ASCAP contact me. I said this earlier, but they contacted me. They said, people are playing you in Brazil. And I said, okay. He said, well, you have to have a license for people to play you in Brazil. I said, I don't know who has my stream in Brazil. How am I going to go to Brazil and get a license for somebody that's playing me in Brazil?
Oh my
so you know what they did?
If I knew If I knew who Julio was, I'd tell him to turn off the radio.
No, but I said this to him. I said, I want them to play me in Brazil because that's how we're worldwide. We're all over the world. I want people to know us everywhere. He said, well, they don't have the right to play you. I said, well, are we not public on TuneIn? Yes, you are. Well, then they have the right to take that stream and relay it. They shut the relay off. So now the people that were in Brazil or other countries don't listen to me anymore. That's why I had to get the Tune Genie link, because the player only works in the United States. I'm only licensed for the United States. The Tune Genie's licensed all over the world. You might have to do something like that.
They can kiss
Have
my
the
ass.
player licensed all over the world, and you don't have to worry about the freaking royalty rights.
Well,
Which
okay.
one of the 12 licenses does that fall under?
I don't know. Pick one.
Did you know churches and ministries need a license to play music during church?
I know that too. Well, that's why we got churches on Sundays. Here's Ruben that does the churches on Sundays at the studio, because they don't have to worry about paying licenses, because we play them on the radio and they're live on Facebook. So the music gets played.
Okay,
so imagine the ASCAP guy that's got to walk up until a priest or a preacher, he's handing him a fine for playing fucking music. You might as well just go straight to hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
That's the way that motherfuckers are. You know that.
Okay, but
that's the way they are.
But you know what this is exactly like, right? The UK, the TV and the radio licenses that they were scamming people into buying, and they were scaring people, sending. When I lived over there, this shit was happening. They were sending mail to my exes and I, our residents, and they were saying, "Well, we need to know if you're watching live TV in your house, because if you are, you have to pay the license." Yep, live TV, live TV, live radio, and they're like, so if you say you're not, then we would like to come in and check out your house to make sure you're not watching live TV. No lie. Yeah.
This is why I keep my servers outside of the US. This is one of those beneficial reasons. Because if they come in and say, we want to take a look at your servers, I can go, fuck you. They're in Europe and Ireland. Go get a court order.
Yeah. My servers from my website are not in this country either. I mean, well, there are a couple, but they're not based in North America. So
yeah, I have three sets of servers: my primary, my secondary, and my tertiary. Only my tertiary is in the US.
Okay.
That's in case all hell goes to
what company are you using, Wade? What company are you using? I'm just curious, because he's got the Cinecon. We're trying to get that launched.
So I actually have a company in Europe, QNellis, that actually hosts all my servers there, and I've got a company in Ireland. It's a subsidiary of QNellis that holds my backups, and then I have Amazon.
All right, can I just say something here? Yeah. Some of the European licensing is way ahead of the United States, and you might actually be killing yourself by going with European, because they are a lot stricter on collecting royalties and taking care of the musicians than they are in the United States.
You're right.
I'm gonna put my servers in the fucking ocean.
Put it in the rabbit hole.
Planes.
I'm telling you. No, I'm dead serious, because I do a lot of Facebook ads, and Facebook got squished by European laws. Squished. So, all right, guys, it's late.
Yeah, we're gonna head out.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Same.
It was fun.
Seriously. Yeah, Gino, if you can, but with everybody's links they put in here, their emails and everything, we have to find a way, or you have to find a way, since you hosted this, to get that file saved, if you can, to send out to everybody.
It's Zoom. Listen, I don't know how to do that on Zoom. Anybody knows how to do it, tell me. Because
you know what?
It's supposed to be saved in file, but it's not saving. Maybe only you can do it.
Only you can do it.
It won't let me save anything.
Oh my goodness. Maybe because you're recording, maybe afterwards. I don't know.
I tried to do that last time. It won't let me do that either. I don't really, I only know what I know about these things, and I know how to record it, and then the show's done. But that's
okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the text box, I was looking up online. They were saying to go down to the bottom of the chat box and right click or something like that, and a little box
it says
will
file.
pop
It
up.
says file. I see that, and there's another box there.
Yeah,
Like,
it looks like stuff you can export. I don't know. Export to, I have no idea, man.
it doesn't say anything about export. It just says it has a file on it. I think that's just if you want to add a file to
Yeah,
the
if you
chat.
want to add a file, okay. Yeah. Wow, man. I even tried highlighting and everything and Control C, Control B. No.
Yeah, not working.
Well, everybody I know that I invite is here, and we all I have their emails. I've got their Facebook pages and phone numbers. Some of them. So I'll get it to Randy. I get it to Wade. I get it to you. I get it to everybody that was here. And we
Cool.
all need
Thank you.
help. I need help with Rod and Cash because they're, like I said, they're completely done with managers. So I'm their new manager, and you guys can help me out with that and try to get them either played or seen or heard or something. That'll help me with that. And then of course, then I'll help you with anything you guys got going on too. But this is important to me because they're such nice people. You know, they're not like
Right. I'm gonna head out. Wade, thank you for not eating baking in front of the nurse. You were tempted. I knew you were going to. You were this close to eating bacon.
Maureen is
in front of the nurse. I know. Look, you can tell Ron that I sent you. He does know who I am. So.
I appreciate that.
All right, Randy. Yeah,
cool. Randy, we love you, Randy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? I hope we can all connect on Facebook, Randy. Everybody.
Yeah, I already liked you on Facebook.
Oh,
so.
okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, most of the people probably will, but I'll make sure you get the links, guys.
Right on, Gino. Thank you. Is everybody taking off now or what?
Yeah, I'm heading out. If you guys are heading out.
See you later.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, I didn't know I could see me.
I put you there. Roger, this is Ruben. Ruben's my co-partner for Iron Horse Films.
Hey, Ruben, how you doing, bud? Yeah, we could sit there and we could watch him making faces in the whole 9 yards, man. No, it was fun.
Roger's a good guy. I know Roger.
I just realized I was on camera.
I know Roger a long time.
Yep.
Roger, how many years I've known you, Roger? Probably 5 or 10.
Oh yeah, it's going on 11 when we were doing Will Spirit Radio and everything, and Sam Muggsy, and the whole lot, Dave Corso. Yeah, that's how I met you, was through Sam Muggsy, I think.
And then Muggsy's doing stuff with Kent Dunn right now, and what? go see what he wants. Kent Dunn and Kent and me were doing a show for a little bit, and then of course, Kent is like way over here. Muggsy is Muggsy. I mean, you know, I got stuff going on as far as we're gonna go after the banks again, which is gonna be fun. I've got Bruce Jacobs working on that. Hopefully we're gonna come up with a show where he can start talking about some of the cases that he's dealt with. And we're gonna hear from people. So I'm giving a lot of opportunities for the different shows, especially like I said, to talk about the drugs and talk about the mental and the physical abuse of people. People aren't doing shows like that. They're like in a box with it. And I want to open up the box and go, okay, guys, it's freedom. Let's talk about what your problems are. Let's see what we can do. Like I said, my 2 friends there, they both had diabetes. They need to get off their freaking metformin and stuff like that. That stuff is going to really kill them.
Yeah.
You know, most of the stuff, Roger, is common sense, right?
Yeah, but it's a superpower. It's a superpower, though. Today, it's a damn superpower.
Nobody has it. I mean, I don't have the shot. I didn't take the vaccine. My kids didn't take the vaccine. My wife didn't take the vaccine. Ruben didn't take the vaccine. Didn't take the shot. So my little circle of people around me didn't do any of that because we can see through the lies.
Yeah. It's all bullshit. Anything and everything that exists today, as far as people think reality is all based on evil. Okay. And they used everybody's creational spark. They manipulated their brains, their minds, their hearts, their souls to create the hell that they want here on the planet, while keeping us from doing that. And that is the not story, but that's the concept. Okay, the concept that I was trying to explain to Randy and Wade. You know, you just gotta say, "Fuck you, we're not taking it anymore." And we're doing our own thing, and there's not a damned thing you can do about it. We're going to make our own app. We're not going to need licensing. All right. And they're going to be exclusive to our website, our brand, and you guys can go piss up a rope against the wind for all we care. That's what needs to happen, Gino. Okay. So
that's the road I think we're going to have to take.
Yeah, so I'm putting it out there to everybody who watches this, hey, if you're an app creator, for radio stations, independent stations, what have you, get with myself or Gino. If you get with me, I can put you in touch with Gino, and we can start getting this all set up and getting these people out there, getting people heard, because there's people out there that are just talented, man.
I know. And it's funny. I had a lot of my friends that were supposed to come on tonight, and I don't know why they didn't, but I will say this. A lot of them are celebrities, and a lot of them are wide open like us.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't take the shot. They didn't take the vaccine. They don't believe in any of this shit. They don't care about people wearing masks. They see the lies that Fauci said, all this stuff, and they're probably Trump supporters or whatever. But the point is, if you can see through the bullshit, like you said, Roger, none of this stuff matters.
No.
It's all that
doesn't.
illusion part. Shit.
It is. And it's the fear that keeps people stuck in that mindset going, I'm only going to make 2 cents or I'm not going to make anything. And you know what? In an abundant universe, what people create is limitation. We have abundance all around us and people create limitation. And that limitation, every
time I walk around with it, I didn't take the shot, but when I walk around without my mask, and people ask me, "Did you take the shot?" I said, "Yeah, I took the shot." They asked me, "Which one did you take?" I said, "Oh, very simple. I took wild turkey, and Jack Daniels."
Yeah. It's just like, man, I don't know. There's so much going on with that too. The FEMA coffins and everything, they're breaking them out now. So, and let's clue everybody in about the Spanish flu. It never came from Spain, number one. And number two, anyone and everyone that it was inoculated with, it pretty much died, and it killed off a third of the Earth's population 100 years ago. So there you go.
Fear that they permeate because it's the Spanish flu, and they want us to believe that it was a Spanish flu that killed them and not the inoculations.
Correct. Yes. But it was the inoculations that killed them all. So unfortunately, I posted something on my earlier today on my Facebook page. I was sent from a friend of mine in the UK that was it was dealing with the injuries that have come from the inoculations already and how many thousands of deaths that have already taken place just in the UK alone.
Well, we're going to do a show on that too, Roger. I think it's important to do a show on. I mean, listen, Maureen is, I don't know whether people like her or not, but she is a godsend.
Maureen's cool, man.
She comes from that medicine era where she believed what they were telling her. And now she's looking at the other side and they're saying, wait a minute, you're not with us anymore? Well, guess what? We don't agree with you.
Well, of course, but unfortunately, that's what happens. You're there's no point in trying to be a people pleaser because you're gonna piss people off. And being of sovereign mind, heart, and soul, that really pisses people off. And the people it pisses off the most are those who are the most indoctrinated and brainwashed. So it short circuits their brains. They don't get it. They just go like that, just like that. But so anyway, Gino, I have to get going. But please, this was awesome. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah,
thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your input and your knowledge and your time.
Right on. No worries. And when are you guys setting up the business thing again? The other Zoom you were talking about, or was that tonight?
Oh, the other Zoom. Well, the other Zoom is, I do a Zoom. This is a Zoom every month.
Okay.
The first week, Thursday night at 8:00. I don't know how people don't remember that or know about it because I announce it all freaking month long.
Right.
But I did it that way because now okay, Thursday night, it's the next month. It's 8:00. The show is going to be on. Now Facebook won't allow me to put it on, but doesn't mean that I can't do the show because it's still Zoom and me. It's we're doing so many different things, Roger, that it's not just the Zoom call. that matters. It's my work with Rod and his friend Cash. It's working with some celebrities like Mo, who has a lot of power with what he does because he works with a lot of different strong people. Working with some of the Shark Tank. You know, a lot of them are very woke, but they act like they're part of the party.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. All right. So Mo, now he would be he's the multimillionaire that was talking about assisting people. All right. Then I'm putting
and he's
it
also
this.
a Reiki master and a lot of that, you know, he was a Marine, ex-Marine. A lot of my friends are ex-Marines.
Nice.
And they shoot, they could tell you some things. They can really tell you some things.
Yeah, I come from a military family, both sides of the family too.
Right.
So,
Me too. Right.
Yep. And I still make my bed today to where you can bounce a quarter off it 3 times because my dad was like when I was 5, I come home and I can't do that. I'm gonna beat your ass, you know. And I'm like, and I did it too. He flips it. He's like, watches it bounce, goes all the way down the bed. He looks at me, picks up the coin, goes, "Good boy," and walked out of the room. We're like, oh, dude, he would give a whooping, trust me. But so we have to get Mo on the page of coming up with an independent app made by someone that doesn't need to be licensed, that doesn't need all the bullshit attached to it, is anywhere near related to corporate America. Okay, that's got to go. That's done. Corporate America is dead. Dude, it's dead. People don't realize how dead it is. It's just the idea and the fear that keeps them in that box. Okay. Once people realize, hey, whoa, they made all this bullshit up out of nothing. Hey, we can make up our own bullshit. No, I mean, good bullshit. You know, things for good bullshit. Things for people to thrive. We have to thrive, man. We need to live and thrive instead of struggle to survive. And that's what all this is about. So
exactly. And that's why I put the team together. You know, my friend John Thielon is a good character voice guy. We're trying to do voiceovers for people and make some extra money.
Yep.
And I like to bring people in that are, you know, not really of us, but you know, I like to count on you every now and then because I know you do that too.
Yeah, man. And I would love to. And I also create the demos that mix the music and sound effects together and everything. I don't know if he does that as well. Does he do that too?
He does a little bit of everything.
Okay, cool.
But he comes from the advertising world as far as radio.
Right.
And he knows the ins and outs of what to say, what to do, what not to put, you know. And that's why I utilize him for what he is. And he is that kind of guy. If you want the right job done, you got to have the right tool. He's the tool for the job.
Right. But now we have to create new tools here because all the old tools are based on corporate America bullshit.
Well, true.
So
we can work from that. I'm working on a couple of inventions right now too. So if they take off, with, you know, we get a patent and stuff for that, you know, they're homeowner inventions. So we're just redesigning what's already been there and trying to recreate again, like music. You're recreating music over and over again.
Yeah, so, well, you're just turning it down to its foundation or digging up the foundation and build something new in its place. That's what we're doing. That's what we have to do.
Oh, I agree. I 100% agree.
In order for us to evolve and transcend ascendance, okay, just to transcend in general, that's what we have to do. We have to all come together.
The Radio Network, and Ruben will tell you, has been open to all this stuff for years. We've had people on that were Reiki people. We've had people on that were all kinds of things. Just doctors, lawyers, military. We're open to a lot of people for a lot of things, but religious leaders,
drug addiction.
So our network is constantly expanding and constantly refreshing itself to keep it new, and keep it unique from everybody else out there. We don't want to be like everybody else.
I think we're so open. We even had assholes on our stage.
Yeah. Tons of assholes. A couple congressmen, senators. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, man. Yeah. See, the paradigm is shifting, gentlemen, and it's shifting in our favor. Now the question is what are we going to do with that ball? Because it's right there in front of us. It's right there.
Yep.
So, and with that, gentlemen, with buddy there eating that sandwich. I gotta go have my sandwich. I'm
Go ahead.
hungry.
Go ahead, Roger.
I
I'll
gotta
talk to you
go.
later, brother.
Yeah, you too. Hey, get me this video as soon as you can. All right.
I will. I will definitely. After
Sweet.
it's done
Hey.
record. Yep. Take care, buddy.
Nice meeting you. Yeah, love you guys. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yep.